She's a riveted Jill.
There she is. There she is.
Can I offer you some tea?
Would you make me some of that Plomeek soup?
Good tea. Nice house.
Greetings and felicitations.
Welcome to Jill's.
The eyes, I reckon, they unnerve some folk.
Not to mention the pincers.
Hello and welcome to Plomeek Teatime number 88. We usually appreciate the science of the matter, but today the chaos magic is our focus because we're continuing our quest with the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince film review. We've reached the part of the series where my love for the story as a whole transcends the things that David Yates does that I'm not as happy with. You can tell by how many people are here on the panel what happens after my favorite movie. My favorite movie being the last one we reviewed, The Order of the Phoenix, the Half-Blood Prince. David Yates gets a little excited with himself and he thinks, oh, I can rewrite everything. And he inserts a few of J.K. Rowling's things. He includes the majority of the plot. Like the main plot of the books are there. If you just think about it, the framework is all there. But he wants to put himself into it more than he wants to give us what we need. But it's okay because at the same time that David Yates is doing this, he does understand the emotion of the movie. And so he does bring the spirit, the soul of Harry Potter to life. But he also does some really funny, sketchy things. And anyway, he takes enough liberty with the dialogue that I didn't actually prioritize getting clips. Like getting clips of this movie. Let's just talk about the story. And I wanted to commend that at least some of the story is there. And I want to enjoy that rather than, complain that Ginny ties Harry's shoes.
Oh my goodness, what's this about Ginny tying Harry's shoes?
Yeah, hello, welcome to Tiger Stripes.
Hey.
Hey, you're here.
Yeah, I've been here all along. I had to, I'm fetching things for someone in my family who's invalid at the moment and, needs coffee and donut, as do we all.
Everybody needs coffees.
Well,
donuts is bonus.
I've got coffee and half a concha that I managed to save from yesterday, so I'm good too.
You're being a good friend. Half a concha? What's a concha?
Well, Jill, I thought you were Hispanic.
I am.
It's a Mexican sweetbread that looks like a shell.
Okay.
Am I mispronouncing it? I could really
no.
Be
You're probably
the pronunciation.
You're probably calling it correct. But here, when we go by it, I just ask for I just want some pan dulce, and so that's all I say.
But there's many though. There's so many.
Yeah. No, I just say give me a bunch of them, so I don't actually know the separate things. Like chef, I go for chef's choice.
I'm quite fussy about which one I want, but that's just me probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like getting them everything.
I'm so happy to be here, and I made notes, and I would have been here are we live?
We are live.
Oh, brilliant!
We are live. I already started with my introduction and started.
I'm so sorry to have missed it. I would have been here a tad earlier, but I'm doing a little research here and there before, and that's why I was late getting the coffee and donut. And
yeah, me too.
I went down the Alan Rickman rabbit hole because his voice is so hypnotic, and I was listening to him, being interviewed about Half-Blood Prince, and I made a few notes, and then I was led to a memorial that Emma Thompson was doing on him, and then I had to take notes down for that, and so.
I can't wait to
'Cause-
hear everything you've learned about that, because Alan
Yes.
Rickman makes some of the more insipid parts of this movie a lot better.
Well, he is the title role, after all, for a change.
He is. And
Yes.
anytime he speaks, any scene he's in, he takes over it, and I'm glad that you focused on him.
Oh,
And so,
I was mad for him from the second. Well, that I don't know if that's completely true. He was such a consummate actor that he was really able, I think, to suppress a lot of his natural charisma if he was playing a villain or playing a a comic character like in Robin Hood and Die Hard. But when he turned it on, the first thing I think I really ever went, who is that? I saw him in Truly, Madly, Deeply, where he was, half of the pair of the story, and that's where I just completely fell for him.
mhm. And
Yes.
I fell for him in these movies, and when he did pass, I was hurt, and I started watching some of his other films, and yeah, there's one that's about animal magnetism that was interesting. That was
Mm.
really,
Mm.
really interesting. I forget what it was called. If
Mhm.
anybody in the chat knows, let me know.
I
But
can't say. I
but
would
because
like.
I kind of binge watched it when he
Mhm.
passed, and then there was one about wine. I don't remember names of the movies. I just remember watching them for his performance.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah. I
His
should
capture
dedicate
of the
myself to
dramatic
seeing
pause.
everything he's ever done. Yeah, Sense and Sensibility, where he plays the captain, is just remarkable. And I once had a good friend who worked in a bookstore. I hung out, Jim Lockett, and I kind of walked into the store one day, and like the first words out of his mouth were, "I want someone to look at me the way Alan Rickman looks at Kate Winslet in Sense and Sensibility." And I said, "Well, I'll try, but I don't think anybody can quite do that the way he can."
Yeah, well, and the same love that he gives to her is the same contempt and loathing that he gives to Harry.
And yet
And
there
so
is that longing behind the look.
he does. He double layers it.
You can get from him, this could have been my son if things had gone differently.
Right, exactly. And well, he shows he cares in the weirdest kinds of ways, but I realize that he has a really difficult responsibility, which we're not supposed to be revealing during this live stream, because
I think we can.
that's
I mean,
Deathly Hallows.
I think we can reveal everything. I mean, anybody
Ooh,
watching, I think, is going to be a fan. But I
yeah,
understand
I
your
know.
reticence, and I will try not to spoil.
That's the only reason I say this, is because we have one panel member who refuses to watch all of it before
Yes,
we
it's
can talk about it.
infuriating, but he's not here, so we can do what we want.
It's infuriating. How can you stand it? Oh, that's right. He doesn't watch my show, so we can't talk about it if he's not here.
Should I just prattle on and on since we're kind of waiting on people, or shall we just tuck in? Or
I honestly enjoy your prattle immensely, but
oh.
I want to talk. I want to talk. I want to
That
say
butt.
hello.
I heard that butt coming.
But I want to say hello to Snortopoopas Cuber
And Penny.
Eugene Bird. And Penny's here. That's wonderful. Hello, Penny. And also, I want to say hello to Eugene Bird, who says, Snortopoopas Cuber, don't get ready for hibernation yet. I see it's party time. Oh, right. Because
Yes, and I have to say hello to Lemon Pie, and that silly old bear.
You have to say hello to Lemon Pie.
Yes.
He's the best.
Silly old bear. Yeah. Oh, Lemon Pie is the best.
He's a great commentator in the chat. He's like Lee Jordan. Eugene Bird says, the character I most identify with is Horace Slughorn. Oh, are you a Slytherin, Eugene
How
Bird?
funny.
I never really asked your house.
Oh yeah, we must know. Yes, what house are you, Eugene?
And lots of romance in this movie. There is, and there's lots of romance in the book too. Although it's portrayed a little differently. But I understand in the movie they have to compress a lot of stuff. Oh, and yeah, and maybe Dalek heard my opening to my show because he says I'm not really enthusiastic about talking about this one. A lot of this one was awful for various reasons, and yeah, no, I opened my show with that. I opened my show explaining all of that, but I enjoyed the story so much. I enjoyed the book so much that
I am never
whatever
happy
David
when they,
Yates does doesn't hurt me.
I'm never happy when they vary from the book. But there was so much wonderful about this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it gets the basic foundation correct. It's just they add a lot of little things that, hey, you didn't have to add that. You could have put this from the book in here instead.
And they
That
rearranged what happened when, and it didn't serve the story particularly. I guess it served the movie. If you're really trying to make a movie like a freaking video game and you want everybody to kind of just get a bigger and bigger and bigger thrill as things go on, I guess, but
that is exactly what he was probably going for, is that build up, and he didn't want it to slow down, and he didn't really want to go through the paces of understanding some of the more calm beats of the story. But it's oh, Penny, yes, and of course Penny's here. Hey, Penny.
So I'm going to prattle on about Rickman. Can I do that some more?
First, before we do that, I do want your prattle, but first I do want to finish my introduction. So,
sorry, I didn't realize I'd come in.
Yeah, you jumped right in during my introduction, which
I'm
is
so
great.
sorry, but please do.
But I had to say hello. It's good to see you. So I was saying about David Yates, he gets the skeletal structure and important plot points, but he takes enough liberty with the dialogue that I didn't prioritize getting clips. I didn't get any clips except for 2, just for intro and for a conclusion. I want to commend that at least some of the stories there, and not worry about, Jenny tying Harry's shoes or getting pie shoved in his face, or Harry getting pie shoved in his face. And we're not getting into Lavender Brown just yet.
Poor Lavender.
Oh, she was really diminished in this. Also, how dare he destroy the bro? If there's one thing I'm upset about the most, but still, I don't hate this movie. It still does some things well, and it stirs my appreciation for the specific threads that they do introduce. One thing David Yates does get right is making loyalty a huge theme of the movie, as it is in the book. People are on Harry's side no matter what. And having that support is something Harry cannot ignore. And, of course, others are on Voldemort's side, but he doesn't have the benefit of friendship with any of them. So their loyalty comes from fear rather than love. And that's something that David Yates gets. The emotion thread is at least there. So before we get more into it, I wanted to introduce my panel, who today is Tiger Stripes, and ask for some brief thought. There's a few things I'm going to ask you. For some brief thoughts about the movie before we get deep into it, before I bring up my slides. And then also ask the question, if you had a bottle of Amortentia, what would it smell like? For me, it's the pages of old books as you fan them, a bonfire after someone has thrown some fireworks into it, and chocolate.
Wow, that's really lovely, Jill. Those are yours?
I believe that's what mine would smell like.
That's
yes.
Remarkable. I would have to think about that for a bit. Give me
you
hour.
You can put a pin in that one as you think about those things.
Because certainly, smells are so important. I remember my first boyfriend in high school had a particular pheromone going, and I couldn't quite tell. I mean, he was the first person. Well, he wasn't the first boy who kissed me, but he was the first boy who kissed me properly. And I wasn't quite sure, how I felt about it. It was just sort of, putting the hair up on the back of my neck. And at some point he did take me home, and I walked in to his family's house and realized the whole family smelled like that. So it was sort of just a genetic thing.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Well, that's even better if he naturally smelled good to you. That he
Yes,
didn't have to put on any kind of cologne or anything
right.
to be compelling, which is what you want to find. That's pretty great. No, now you're reminding me of times where a boy's been on my pillow and I take to smelling it over and over again. But before we before we talk further on that, I want to say hello to Greek Letters and Keith E. Here to look, learn, listen, and increase my vocabulary by listening to Tiger Stripes.
Well, I've nothing on Miss Martin Muses, but thank you. That's
Oh, imagine
quite
if
a
she showed up.
yes, quite a
She has the link
compliment.
if she wants.
I'll
She's incredible.
I'll take that compliment.
Yeah,
It's
you
giving me
deserve it. You
goosebumps.
deserve it.
Thank you. And I didn't think I was really that brainy. I don't think of myself as as a Hermione.
Mm, well, you are really clever. Delic451 says, of all the movies, this is probably the one I've watched the least. Ooh, yeah. No, and it shows. It shows. Eugene Bird, though, decided to support the channel with the super sticker. It's a Bushiba little, kind of looks like a little fox dog with a little trophy. And that's
Eugene, big
amazing.
spender.
No, Eugene really helps me be encouraged to continue doing fun stuff. And for that, I guess I'm gonna show you a, a clip, I guess, from another movie that was better. Another Harry Potter movie. Let's see. Let's see which one I like. Oh.
Gather round. Can everybody see me? Can you all hear me?
So thank you, Eugene Bird, for your support. Will's Random Thought says, hey, keep it down. I can't hear the machine clunking. Hey, if you're supposed to be listening to the machine, maybe you shouldn't be listening to this live
Yes, I
stream.
mean, yes, what kind of machine? Is this the machine that goes ping? Because that's a very important machine to have to listen to, I think, if that's your job.
Eugene Bird says, Gorilla 134 streams last night. Oh. And so actually, okay, so we're getting close to getting to the start of the slides for this live stream. I missed the first few. Well, I messed up the slides for the beginning of this movie in general. I have to explain because I used my Blu-ray to watch this time, and it had this annoying commentary about the movie during the movie in text format. But I put on the special format because I wanted the special features because they put the special features inserted into the movie at the specific points where those things happened. But I realized 20 minutes in that I didn't want that, and I switched to the normal subtitles. So when you see strange commentary for the first few slides, uh, you're free to comment on it, but it's yeah, you'll be able to tell it's not dialogue. If don't worry, it doesn't last too long. Just a warning to people who pay attention to all the screen caps that I hand select. And so Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was released in 2009, directed by David Yates, written by Steve Kloves, who wrote all except one of the Harry Potter scripts. And, we're getting closer to the end now. And here's what Daniel Radcliffe says about the movies. For me, the films have always been about a loss of innocence. When Harry came into this world, it was all amazing and brilliant and pure. But as the films have gone on, that's totally disintegrated. And he's realizing that the wizarding world has just as many, if not more, challenges than the world he grew up in before. And so, yeah, we're in the second to last book, third to last movie. And so the for the screen caps that I didn't get, we start off in the Ministry from the last movie, where Dumbledore is leading Harry out of the Ministry, and they even show the ring. We didn't get that the ring Marvolo's ring Marvolo being Tom Riddle's grandfather. And then the second one, we moved to where they destroy a bridge that didn't exist in the book. They get the bridge wrong, but it looks cool. And then they also destroy Ollivander's wand shop, and they've kidnapped somebody from Ollivander's wand shop. Gee, I wonder who that is. So, oh wait, maybe I had that. I do have that. So we can bring up the slides now. And so actually, Tiger Stripes, I want you to wait
Prattle?
for your
Prattle on?
No, I want you to wait for your prattle until we see Snape. When we see Snape,
All right,
let's do
then.
the prattle then.
All right then. I did. That was interesting, though. The newspaper headlines in the Ministry of Magic. That was very well done. I thought as an opening to remind you of the ending of the previous film. I thought it was pretty clever.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
right.
that was
Just to remind
Fenrir
you.
Greyback pulling out Mr. Ollivander.
That's true.
Oops.
That was.
I just spoiled that totally. The
Oh
person
no,
in the hood.
no, that's not a spoiler.
It's a bit of a spoiler. I think they kept him hooded
But I
for
mean,
that reason.
it's kind of obvious. Like,
I
okay,
don't know.
he's
I don't think I got it the first time I saw the film, even though I had read the books. It just sort of went by me. Everything was
'cause it
happening
is.
so fast at that point.
They do mention that he got kidnapped in the books, and but
And
in the movie
shortly after the, I'm sorry.
they show the Ollivander wand shop destroyed,
Mm-hmm.
and shortly after,
Shortly after they show you Fenrir Greyback taking that hooded person away, they do come up. They pass by a wanted poster for him on the wall.
oh yeah, they
So,
really do. They
you know,
really
they
do like
kind
Fenrir.
of are trying to reinforce who he is, just briefly, even though they don't give him a lot to do in the film,
Yeah.
in this film.
Well, he did do something, but we didn't get to see it. He hurts Bill pretty bad.
Ah, right.
So, oh, Fenrir, I have a few things about him. Let me see what's going on with him. What's his name? I have his name here. Nick Dudman. So he's in mid transformation because he loves being a werewolf. So he doesn't just thirst for flesh, at the full moon. He's taken up to doing it all whenever he wants. So he's become part man, part beast, and
Interesting.
it says that the behind the makeup was cage fighter Dave Lengo. They took a cast of my whole upper body and my head, which was quite claustrophobic. And who says the actor who appeared in small roles in Snatch and Batman Begins. It takes maybe 20 minutes, but it seems a long time when you're completely at their mercy. Your mouth's completely covered, your eyes, everything. So you're kind of blind and deaf with 30 pounds of plaster of Paris wrapped around you. From that mold, they create the prosthetic and punch hairs into it, which takes several weeks. Oh. And then only one chest prosthetic needed to be made, as it was reusable, but the face could only be used once. And since he filmed for 30 days, enough copies of his face were made to cover the shooting schedule. And I think the producer said, "Don't you think the nose is a little too big?" And it was actually my own nose. That was the only thing they found a problem
painful. That hurts.
with. And there wasn't anything I could do about it. Yeah, that's messed up. It was Legeno's daughter who made him aware of Harry Potter. It seems like it's been with us forever, as if it were here when I was a kid, but it wasn't. But it's part of the British culture now. So and that happens quite a lot with these movies. Is the kids get the adults who are acting in these movies into Harry Potter. So that's good. And so here are the slides. Let's get through some of them. As we say hello to DJ Play Nice. And the bridge we see destroyed in the movie is the Millennium Bridge in London. And Greek letter says, London Bridge is falling down, falling down. Yeah. And so we do see the bridge falling down because the Death Eaters, at the beginning of the book, the Death Eaters do, in fact, destroy a bridge. I think it's a different bridge than this one. Because this one, oh, yeah, the Millennium Bridge is what they destroy in the movie. And so we have this special feature that shows up when the Millennium Bridge is being destroyed. And so let's take a look at it. And it's to show the Death Eaters are still around. Well, of course they're still around. Did anybody question this? And so they found an iconic London landmark for the Death Eaters to destroy. And they used a combination of live action and background plates from the air and from the ground from various heights. So apparently they used a lot of helicopters to get this done. And there's Mark Wolf, aerial coordinator. And they coordinated closely with the visual effects department. and they were also a nuisance to the public. So they wanted to minimize, how much the helicopter went low. I think that's what the nuisance was. And just, having a helicopter flying right next to your face. Probably not that much fun. And they got cooperation from the police and from the all sorts of authorities here in London. And of course from the general public too, who were walking on the bridge. So then, okay, now we're back to the movie. Where Harry, instead of being in Privet Drive, he's in some train station.
And then they're using all of these wonderful Britishisms like tosser and going round the twist, which I really adore.
Oh, right. They do. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
They
and
do
I
say
believe
that.
that he's actually in the tube. Is that what the expression is? The subway?
You would know. I would call it the subway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
But yeah,
Harry calls himself a tosser.
Yes, it's easy to imagine that Harry would rather be riding the subway all day than stay at the Dursleys at all. I kind of feel for him there.
It would make sense, but yeah.
But it's 11
Sure.
p.m. at this point, right? It's kind of late.
It is. Well, in the books he's fallen asleep against the windowsill and hoping, he doesn't have that much hope that Dumbledore's actually coming, so he hasn't even packed yet. And so his glasses are askew, and he's like, yeah, and it is about 11 o'clock. Dalek says the bridge wasn't even open in 1996. It opened in 2000. Mhm. And
Wow,
yeah, so
that's
it was
interesting.
this bridge didn't really exist for the Death Eaters to
It's a
destroy.
creative anachronism.
Sure. Maybe it's called something else in the Harry Potter universe, and it was built in 1996 in the alternate universe. Greek letter says, rumor has it that the producers asked for the Birmingham Palace, but the Crown refused for some reason.
Probably means Buckingham,
Oh, Buckingham.
I imagine.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. Thank you. Dalek 451 says the London Underground.
The underground.
Okay, so Eugene Bird is talking. He's saying Epic Universal announced the opening date for their Ministry of Magic park. It's May 22nd, 2025. Yeah, you know what? I think I might actually have a family vacation next Sunday there. I mean, next summer Sunday.
Is that a comment on Universal, or is Epic Universal a particular place? I'm
It's
confused.
okay. So the Universal parks
Sure, there's one in
in
LA
Florida.
and there's one in Florida.
Mhm. So this is, I don't know why they're calling it Epic. It's just they're just expanding the parks,
Oh, okay.
and I guess they're calling it Epic because You can only go for
just
1 day during your vacation to the new sections of the park because they're afraid that it's going to get overcrowded.
oh my gosh,
And so they're gonna,
that's not particularly epic.
yeah, right. So they're gonna have the Ministry of Magic, and not just that. The reason why you're gonna get to go to the Ministry is because there's gonna be a ride for the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, and then also at Epic they're gonna have Super Mario World. They're gonna do all the Mario Nintendo stuff, and I think there's gonna be some space themes and stuff. I think it's gonna be good. The Outcast Creative Lance is here. Jill, I nearly bought you the cutest Star Trek present. What? You bought me a present? A rubber duck. That is a Borg. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I have 2 clips for that.
Tell me, what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?
This is
And
where I wish I could do Donald Duck and say, "You shall be assimilated," but
We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
and then I need to put a quack after that somewhere.
quack.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me.
Very rusty.
Oh, that's very good. That's very
Not
good.
that
That's a
good,
very good
but
job.
if I was really good, I'd be able to talk while I did it.
Better than mine. But thank you for thinking of me, Outcast Creative. Thanks, Lance. See where was that? Oh, there it is.
Well, we're
I
still
took a
here
picture
in
of it for
the.
you. Well, yeah, because this is important, says Greek letters. In the cafe spell fight, no one speaks words. How can they cast spells? How? To cast a spell in the Potter universe, you have to wave the wand and speak the words, which is might be what you think from watching the movies, because this movie takes out that very important point that tells you how they do that. Because when Snape gets the defense against the dark arts teacher role, you get to see them go to class and he's teaching them how to do magic without speaking. You think the word and you think the spell, and so you can do magic
Yes, in the
as long as you
wizarding
can
world.
concentrate.
Yes, in the wizarding world, if you're powerful and you can focus, you don't need to speak and you don't need a wand. But the wand, of course, is just immeasurable help, or everybody wouldn't use them.
Yeah, definitely. And so kids start off having to say the spell and wave the wand a specific way. But when you grow up, you can not say it as long as you can think it. And maybe the flirt, how you wave your wand, you can be a little more stylistic with it if you desire, as long as it's still correct. Epic is the 4th park to open. They have 3 others. What? It's a separate park? No, that's
That was
weird.
kind of my point. That was my question. That's good to know,
Oh,
Eugenie.
I thought it was just an expansion for
Oh,
the
I didn't
previous
even know they had a
parks.
third one. I thought there were only the 2.
Yeah, me too. That's
No, I
weird.
take it back. I think I knew already that they had a third one in Japan because I knew somebody who worked on it when it
Of
was being
course,
constructed.
of course they have one in Japan. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Japan already has Nintendo World. Greek letter says a Borg rubber duck. I'd buy that for $1. And the pictures are now on your Facebook Messenger. Oh, oh, indeed they are. Oh my goodness.
Well, shall we move on with the story?
Yeah, we should, but look, there's Star Trek ducks. I'm being
Those
distracted.
are all completely terrifying.
Wait, where's the Borg? Is it this one? Yeah, there it is. There's the Borg duck.
Best of the bunch.
Yeah, the Borg was a good choice. But you're right. I don't have all day because I do have to leave at 3, so I better
I'm
get
afraid I
going
have
through
to.
here.
I need to be with you. We need to be in lockstep to be out at 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to stay till the end so much.
Yes, yes. Yes, so let's do it.
Do you have? There's that lovely waitress.
That's right.
And I'm going to
And she
say it
says,
was.
"You can tell."
Go ahead.
You can tell me all about that tosser, Harry Potter.
And I was very impressed that Harry was able to realize that she was hitting on him. Because in my experience and the experience of others people I have known, you often don't realize that until you're walking out the door. And you're like, wait, what? And then it's too late.
Instead of walking, Dumbledore and Harry are going to apparate.
Love
So
the
they
big
apparate.
magic billboard behind him. That's such a great joke.
Right. I thought that was kind of cute. Well, because we don't see much of the Muggle world, so it's a neat little intersection.
Yes.
Instead of Dumbledore getting mad at, the Dursleys for being mean to Harry. Well, he doesn't really get mad at them, but he does admonish them a bit. But instead of that, we get a billboard and a hot waitress shooting on location. Oh, okay, so sometimes my slides go into some special features.
I hated that scene.
Interesting.
Even when I first saw it, I hated it.
Well, thank you for entering on hate, Dalek. That's what we want from a Dalek.
Well, yeah, exterminate that scene. Hey, Dalek, good to see you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I've had a pretty quiet day today.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the cleaners who come to our house every Friday. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet.
Oh, good. Okay. The question will be posed to you too. You can have time to think about it, but if Amortentia were a real potion and you had it, what would yours smell like? And you can tell me later if you want to think about it. So yeah, it's final clue. So that's what they need Slughorn for. They need him for that. Let's see. Where is this? Exit full screen. So they're in a house. So Slughorn's hiding in a Muggle house, and he made it look completely destroyed so people wouldn't bother him. But there's no dark mark on over his house, so they know that he's not actually in danger. But in the movie, they know he's not in danger because it's not human blood, it's dragon blood. So why not? I don't mind that change.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? What about what?
What you were saying about the blood, was that just?
It's just in the movie, yeah.
Wasn't it jam in the book? I feel like it was something really innocuous in the book. You should know, Dalek. You're our book expert.
Yes, you're right. I should know this because
it's not that important. I mean, I can always open the book online if I really want to look these things up. But I thought you might know off the top of your head.
I should know. I definitely should know this because I actually reread that part of the book not that long ago.
It's not that important. I just thought you might know.
The only thing that's important is that in the book, the reason why they know that Slughorn's okay is because there's no dark mark above the house. So that's the difference. And of course, Slughorn in both, he's hiding in an armchair, and he starts. So
no, he is the armchair. He's
he is. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's hiding as an armchair. Yes, is what I should have said.
Yes.
He comes by the stuffing naturally.
What a wonderful, wonderful character actor Jim Broadbent is.
He is. And okay, so he did He worked with Terry Gilliam in Time Bandits and Brazil. And Topsy Turvy with Mike Lee, Steven Spielberg, and Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Oh. All right. Actually, I think I remember recognized him when I watched that movie.
I saw Topsy Turvy in theater. I think it's about Gilbert and Sullivan. It was very good. And he's one or the other of them, I believe. He has quite a lead role in that film.
Yes, and also, but here he's showing Harry pictures of all his former students that he's decided would be successful, and the successful ones. He keeps them on a shelf.
The shelf.
And yeah, he collects students. He has he has this thing where he'll decide who's gonna succeed, and he'll start this little club for you, and you can come for special dinners. And when you grow up and you are successful, then he gets connections, so he gets success through other people's success. And he talks about Sirius, which is something that Harry's been depressed about all summer. And so he's just, I taught the whole Black family except Sirius. Shame, talented boy. I got Regulus when he came along, but I'd have liked the set. And they don't really talk about Regulus too much. Anyway, yeah, he'll come back later. Dalek 451. This is my favorite movies of the 11. Oh, Eugene Bird likes this one. It would smell. Oh, okay. Eugene Bird's Amortentia would smell like fluoride rinse because of all the hot dental assistants out there.
What?
Oh, that's a good one.
Really? This one's your favorite?
That's pretty hilarious.
This one.
Eugene. But what flavor of fluoride rinse? Bubblegum?
Oh, yeah. Does he get specific with that? And so Dumbledore.
Another thing. There are 8 movies, not 11. I don't count the Fantastic Beasts films.
I was gonna say he does. It looks like he does.
Oh, and interestingly, when I was on Peacock watching this last night, who interrupted it every 10 minutes for a commercial, do better, Peacock. I will be renting the next 2 from the library. That's where where y'all should chime in and say from the library. But yes.
Hermione.
I'm pulling a blank.
Well, that's good. That's good that you've decided to.
Well, it was relevant to whatever Dalek just said. What did you just say, Dalek?
I just said how this. Oh, to me, there are only 8 movies, not 11.
I noticed that Peacock has labeled the last 2 as both 7, which I thought was interesting because I have to say I think of them as 7 and 8, even though there's only 7 books.
Yeah, I do too, because they make 2 movies.
Yes, they make 2 movies.
It's Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Deathly Hallows Part 2, but it was technically there's 8 movies.
Yeah, but they were labeling them both as 7. I'm like, boy, that's a bit confusing. But anyway, I digress.
But anyway, Dumbledore needs Slughorn, so he brings Harry along specifically to lure Slughorn back into being a teacher, so he can get what he needs from Slughorn, because Slughorn's got something he needs.
Harry is the ultimate collectible.
He is. He's got it.
He is. Even more so than a Borg duck. Look, there's Scotty.
Hey.
Yes, this is what I was going to tangent to, is to welcome Scotty R37 to the panel.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just I don't know if you saw what the question was for today, and you can spend some time thinking about it if you want.
Sure.
If if you had a bottle of Amortentia, what would it smell like?
Oh, and that's a good question. Let me consider it.
It's a doozy, isn't it? That's exactly what I said. I said, give me a quarter hour to think about it.
Yeah, I got to think about it. But yes, I will definitely report.
And And that's all that's happening here. Harry's getting Slughorn to be a teacher again, but he thinks he's going to be the defense against the dark arts teacher. He doesn't realize he's going to be potions master.
I'm going to go with vanilla, bourbon, and dandelions.
But the flower then?
Yes.
Interesting.
You knew there was going to be booze in the mix.
I had no doubt.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And there's special features interjected into the movie, and I got the slides for the special features as they're interjected.
Oh my.
And so that's what you're seeing here.
Are we going to go back to the Muggle house?
Yes. Muggle house. What Muggle?
Because I was going to say that I think even when I was reading, and I am the original girl with no gaydar. I mean, 0. When Dumbledore took the knitting magazine, it went off. In my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, Dumbledore's gay. I have no idea why. I don't think that, real men can't knit, or that gay people aren't real men, or that there's any sort of connection between knitting and being gay. But somehow that just rang the bell in the back of my head. And so I was surprised later on.
I didn't even
I
didn't even think about it today. I didn't even think about it yesterday.
I don't believe this.
I don't have one at all.
Yeah. The only reason I have to say that Dumbledore is gay is because J.K. Rowling said so. That's all.
Oh no, there were lots of clues in the books. Many clues in the books.
There weren't.
Okay, but that's the next movie.
Yes, there were.
That's
nonsense.
The next movie. We'll talk about
it next
time.
I
refuse to believe it.
It is absolutely the next movie.
It is the next.
And simmer down, pal.
And that's fair enough. You can believe that, Dalek. It's okay. We can have different opinions here, and it's all right. Because we can all have different ideas. But we're at the Burrow. This is my favorite building in all of Harry Potter. And
I have to say that I was distressed that they
not a
moved
whole lot
it,
happens during
and I
this
don't
scene.
know if they moved it in the book. But I liked its original location so much better than it just being on the edge of a marsh or even in the middle of a marsh.
I don't know. David Yates seemed really obsessed about these
Burrow.
reeds that float
the
everywhere.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. The Burrow's location when we first see it it's a really nice spot.
Yes,
and it makes sense. But in the later films, the Burrow's just in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a cornfield. Well, why is it in the middle of nowhere?
It's a marsh, actually. It's a marsh.
Oh,
it's a marsh. That's not corn stalks. Those are reeds. And when Harry gets there, he's up to his knees in water. That is a marsh.
Okay, it's a bloody marsh.
Ain't no cornfield.
Okay,
but it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I like the first one. They had lovely trees, and I think a brook nearby, and the proper garden. And all
it was
the
beautiful.
things.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, lovely.
It felt like a farm. It felt like 100 chickens were going to run out of somewhere.
Oh,
but
this was a really lovely transition. It was really so subtle. I think I only noticed it this watch, that the paper is burning in the air, and they come in on Malfoy's face, and then they cut to his mother. And I had never made that connection before.
The connection? What connection?
The connection, they transition. The scene transitions from the Golden Trio sitting around this burning newspaper that is suspended in air, and it comes in on Malfoy's face because Malfoy and his mother are in the newspaper, and then there's this transition to his mother.
Gotcha. Yeah. That is good.
I had never connected those dots before.
I didn't really either.
It's very subtle.
I didn't catch the transition myself.
Very subtle.
Let the hate make you stronger. No, wait, wrong movie again, says Greek letters.
Yes. I can't wait until they execute Order 66.
Yes. And to quote Captain Picard, there are 8 movies. And Dalek agrees with you.
What have I started?
Thank you.
A revolution where we don't recognize that Newt Scamander fellow. Hello to Canadian Spider-Man.
Spidey.
Great to see you. I guess
I mean,
except for the fact. Go ahead.
Spidey.
I guess you can, if you really want to, you can think of them as like, as a collection of movies. But frankly, to me,
No.
I mean, we're talking. Those are the Fantastic Beasts movies are their own thing. They're not Harry Potter, not properly.
Yeah, they're in the
world.
universe,
but they are different. Yeah, they're not Harry Potter because there's no Harry Potter born then.
No, and there's not
Correct.
supposed to be a McGonagall. They just throw her in there for some reason.
Yeah,
And
that's mistakes.
Keith E says, I think it's going to smell like the pages of an old book, but that one's one of mine, Keith E. There's nothing quite like that, other than the way that Sam's Club smells. Oh, I didn't think of a store. Stores sometimes do have different smells. And good afternoon, Tony.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Keith. Hey, Eugene. Hey, Penny.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. We're checking out Narcissa Malfoy, of course.
Say
Draco
my
Malfoy's
name.
mother.
Say my name.
Narcissa.
Say my name.
And Bellatrix Lestrange, Draco's auntie, and Wormtail's there. He's
as a spy. Don't
there.
you think? I feel like he may have been assigned there by the Dark Lord to keep an eye on Snape. Don't you think?
I think that would follow, because everyone's always questioning Snape's loyalties on both sides.
Why was Wormtail even at Snape's old house in the first place?
I think the Dark Lord put him there, but I don't really. I mean, I'll have to check the book.
I don't. It doesn't say in this book. It might be in the second book, but it's a logical conclusion. I like it. And hey, Penny's back. Hail, Wizard of Iron.
And that literally was Snape's own house.
Oh wait, did we skip over? Oh no, these are those special feature things. So we have not yet skipped over the Unbreakable Vow because it's so huge.
No, that's important. That's important. But basically, Bellatrix is one of those people who doesn't trust Snape. Doesn't believe that he's really on the side of the Dark Lord. She thinks that he's Dumbledore's pet. And Narcissa is asking Snape to help Draco, because Draco's been assigned a very difficult, dangerous mission. And of course,
Spinner's End, I think this place is called. Yeah,
that's right.
It's a wonderful name. It is fascinating to me how pretty much every house in England has its own name. That is so uncanny.
I wouldn't say all houses do, but if you go to some the smaller villages in the country and things like that, then you probably find a lot of cottages which do have names. Yeah,
I just dote on that. I love it so much. I'm going to name every house I know now, and go insane. So.
Yeah, and like you said, this is the Unbreakable Vow, which is important. It's if you do such a thing and you break the vow that's supposed to be unbreakable, it kills you. So this is not just it's more intense than a pinky swear.
I'll give it credit. I have to give credit here. If there's any part of the movie that they definitely got right, it was this: the Bellatrix and Narcissa going to see Snape at his house, and the Unbreakable Vow. Yeah, they got that right. That was a really intense scene, and that's pretty much spot on to the book.
Yeah. Except for and I even like the movie only line.
The only problem is it happens way later in the film than it does in the book, where that was actually the first chapter of the book before we even went.
I found something in the book. All right.
Sure.
Wow, Snape is really cruel to Wormtail during right before the Unbreakable Vow, when Narcissa
Wormtail's even
and
a
Bellatrix
bit
visit, and Wormtail will get us drinks if you'd like them, said Snape, and then he will return to his bedroom. Wormtail winced as though Snape had thrown something at him. I am not your servant, he squeaked, avoiding Snape's eye. Really? I was under the impression that the Dark Lord placed you here to assist me.
Yeah, well, basically,
So,
he's actually...
I nailed that. The
So
Dark Lord put him there.
so that's why he's there.
Yeah.
The Dark Lord. Well, Wormtail then says to assist, yes, but not to make you drinks and clean your house.
Yeah, but I like Snape's retort is that Wormtail. Oh, I didn't know you wanted tougher assignments. I'll make sure the Dark Lord knows that you want to do some dangerous stuff.
Oh, good for you.
So-
But yeah, you can bet that Wormtail is there to spy on Snape.
makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, works for me.
Well, anybody who works for a Dark Lord, I'm guessing you're going to be duplicitous.
Well, it also, Voldemort doesn't actually trust anybody, so it makes sense
True.
for him to have spies, even within his own ranks.
Which is, why I'm not 100% convinced of the evil nature of Severus.
But I also
If
like
only-
the non-book line that he tells to Bellatrix when she's touching his stuff. We mustn't
Excuse me?
touch what isn't
Oh,
ours.
right.
Right, yes.
The possessions on the mantle.
Yeah. And so the whole point of that scene is Narcissa wants help. And she gets help.
Boy,
And
does
there you
she.
go. Yeah. Oh, and there's an aside where Ron is explaining, like he explains it later in this movie, what an unbreakable vow is. But the reason Ron knows about it is because I forget if it's Fred or George, one time almost got him to get into one, but Arthur caught him in time. And Ron says that's the only time he's ever seen his dad get as angry as his mom.
Ooh,
And that's
great story.
and that's at least one, and that's another. That and the whole thing with Ron explaining the unbreakable vow. I'm glad. I mean, they cut his explanation kind of short in the film, but at least they didn't take it away from him and give it to Hermione like everything else.
Yeah, right. They always do that, so I'm glad for that too. That was good. And so now we're at the jokes shop, and we get to see all sorts of magical stuff for sale.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Really wonderful sequence.
This is a great scene here in Fred and George's joke shop. This is good.
Well, and Fred and George give Harry the Peruvian darkness powder, and they don't charge him anything. So they don't explain why Fred and George give Harry stuff for free.
And then they shoot, and then they charge an arm and a leg for Ron.
Because he's like a brother to them.
But it's because he gave them their startup loan from the winnings from the Triwizard Tournament.
Of course, good point. Yeah.
So did they drop out of Hogwarts to run this business, or is this just something they do in the summertime?
Yes, they did.
Attention in the last film.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they fled from Hogwarts essentially.
They made a big fireworks show and flew out on their brooms during the owls.
And that's why I was somewhat confused.
And now they have their own business in Diagon Alley, a full proper business.
Okay, and I was curious about that in the last movie because there were never any repercussions, and so I'm glad to find that they landed on their feet.
Well, there was going to be repercussions, and they decided to leave.
Which is good for them.
Wonderful catch of yours, Jill, that Harry's always going to get at things for free here because he's the founder of the feast.
Essentially, yeah, because he gave them again, but again, in the book at least, completely removed from the film. He's the one who actually he gives Fred and George his winnings from the Triwizard Tournament, and that's what they use to start their business with this shop, with this joke shop.
This magical Toys R Us.
Yeah,
it is so much fun.
It is. I like this stuff. I especially wanted the sticky trainers.
Oh, right, that person walking.
In fact, he doesn't just give it to them. He pretty much forces them to take it at one point.
And I like that they're paying attention to all their customers. You know, handing the kid who's just about to really start nonstop vomiting a kettle.
Well, you got to show him how to use it.
This moment's funny. They're just giving some free stuff to Harry, and then Ron goes, "What about me?" And there's like 5 galleons.
But I'm your brother.
10 galleons.
10 galleons.
And
all the girls around the love potions.
Yes, and apparently they really do work.
Since you didn't get a photo of it, I'm going to point out that is Harry's mini dragon from the Triwizard Tournament heating the chestnuts in the machine?
Oh, I meant to get a screen cap of that.
I think it is.
Yeah, it could be.
You remember the little mini dragons that were tokens to tell them which dragon they would have to fight?
Yeah.
I think that's the Horntail. I think that's so. It would be nice to think that Harry gave it to them and they put it to use.
Yeah.
Just another subjugated species in the Harry Potter world.
It's not. That one's just a toy.
Yeah,
that's
just
a toy.
Yeah, fully functioning.
It's not
just a toy. It's not an actual dragon.
But Draco is going to Borgin and Burke's in Nocturne Alley, and Harry. So in the books they've got extendable ears so they can actually hear them. Here they can only see. And so we find out about the cabinet all the way at the beginning of the movie with this one. So that's one thing that's not a mystery for very long, or at all.
It's still a bit of a mystery. You don't quite know what it is.
Which that cabinet has been a bit of a well, maybe not quite as emphasized in the movies, but in the books, that has been a bit of a plot thread since Chamber of Secrets.
Yes, you're right. In Chamber of Secrets, Peeves breaks the one that's in Hogwarts order of nearly headless.
Yes, Peeves does break the one at Hogwarts, but the one in Borgin and Burke's, that's the cabinet Harry hid in when he ended up there in Chamber of Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Harry hid in it.
Yeah, right. In the movies, they just have him hide in a sarcophagus or something.
I think it was like an Iron Maiden or something like that.
Excellent.
That's what it looked like.
But yeah, there's a lot more
Bill and
great
Ted
acting.
fans here in the magical world. All right.
Yeah, I get what I just said.
Yeah, and so
that's Iron Maiden joke finally landing, Scotty.
Hey, as long as it lands.
Hey, but they're still going to school, even with Voldemort back and everything going haywire. You still got to finish learning your magic. So they're on the Hogwarts Express, and we've got Luna giving out her Quibblers, her dad's magazine, and since they removed the prefix subplot, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are in the same compartment. And Harry.
All right, yeah. In the movies, they never became prefects, did they?
Yeah, no, but he does become Quidditch captain in this movie. But
In fact,
there's this the whole movie. He's obsessed with what Draco's doing.
In fact, come to think of it, once Percy's left Hogwarts and gone to the Ministry, the whole concept of prefects is completely forgotten in the movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was all because that was Percy's entire character was. Listen to me. I am a prefect.
But I happen to be a school prefect.
Yeah.
But that's also as the story ends up progressing. You don't need the authority figures to help the audience be introduced to certain things. And I like that as we go through the movies, we are, as an audience, learning more and more, and we don't need people saying.
I suppose so, but what was interesting about having Hermione and Ron delegated to the prefect cabin whenever they're on the Hogwarts Express was that Harry had to talk more to other people. So he was talking to Neville and Luna instead. So he was in the train with them. So we got to get to know them a little more.
Right.
That's fair.
But Harry's spying on Malfoy. Who's saying he's not. I don't think I'm going to come to Charms class next year, so he's not going to school.
He also makes that comment about throwing himself off the astronomy tower, which is dead foreshadowing.
Why does he do that? Is it? You would think that that's his plan all along, but that can't be his plan because he's got terrible plans throughout the course of the movie.
Oh no, foreshadowing is not his plans. That's just
a
literary device to kind of.
I know what a foreshadow is. I'm just saying.
I know you know.
He literally he's literally saying what happens. Anyway.
And I know you know I know, but I thought that was kind of notable.
It is. It is. I did think about that too. It's pretty strange. But oh yeah, this is the part where I got tired of the text commentary, so you won't see that anymore. We're done with that. So don't worry about that.
I gotta say, I'm kind of happy about that.
If it's been bothering you, it's gone now.
It's just been confusing because I'm used to it being the actual words from the script instead of somebody's commentary. Yeah,
but it
I did wonder what that was.
But anyway, Draco figures out that Harry's spying on him and stuns him, and then stomps on his nose.
Oh, he breaks his nose.
He does. He does break his nose. And
thank heavens for Luna.
I believe.
Yes. In her Spectre specs.
And I believe
from the Quibbler.
Wait, was I in this one or the previous one? I can't remember.
I really do love that line. It's like being with a friend.
And that's a
friend, Luna.
that is kind of from the books because she said because when they're in the train compartment and they're talking about Harry's talking to Neville and Luna, and they're like, "Are we going to have any more DA meetings this year?" Because they really love the DA. And Luna says, I that she liked it because it was like being with friends. And then there's like I guess popular girls who are trying to get Harry to be in their compartment, but he dismisses them. And Luna says, "People expect you to be with cooler people than us," and Harry says that they are cool. I didn't see any of them at the Department of Mysteries in the battle.
This bit with the scene with Luna finding him on the train after Malfoy assaults him and leaves him there. Was it her in the book or was it?
No, it wasn't.
It was Tonks. It was Tonks who finds him in the book.
Yes, that's correct. It was Tonks in the book.
It was Tonks.
But this was a way to get some a Tonks. You don't
Tonks.
You remember Tonks from the previous movie?
No shouting, please. I'm wearing
Tonks.
Yes, Tonks. Don't call her Nymphadora. She doesn't like it. Tonks.
Yeah.
Oh, I only know her as Nymphadora. That's why I didn't know.
No, you know her as Tonks. If you'd listened to the film while you watched it.
No, I don't care how she wishes to be addressed. Her name is Nymphadora. I'll call her Nymphadora. And if she doesn't like me, we'll call it square.
Then she doesn't like you.
That's a shame.
So normally she looks like this, but in this movie she
really changed.
She does. Yes. She can't do her metamorphosis. So she's got her normal natural hair because she's depressed.
Still a smoke show, though.
They gave her a bit of a mullet. An unfortunate mullet, in my opinion.
Bad thing between her and Lupin, wasn't it? Because of that.
Yeah, right. Because he won't accept her. Like he thinks that she shouldn't be with him
because he's a
but,
werewolf.
because he's a werewolf, and then
A wolf.
but they get over it. They get over it, and she gets her hair back. Her hair. The next one. They do. And Luna fixes Harry's nose instead of Tonks. So yeah, definitely Tonks does the pisky.
But there is
But it's
that
fine.
wonderful
I don't
line. No,
mind.
but I've done several toes, and how different are they really? Which is just hilarious.
That's another line that I have.
Oh, I
written
also
down
love
here.
her.
Thank
I
you
love
so
her.
much.
I love her line. He says, "How do I look?" And she says, "Exceptionally ordinary," and I adore that too.
Right, right. She says, "Are you sure you want me to fix it? I think you're more devil may care this way."
For some men, a broken nose works, but for most people, no.
Yeah, so they have their start of term, their feast where they introduce Slughorn and that he's going to be teaching potions. And finally, after all these years, Professor Snape gets to teach the class he's always wanted to teach, Defense Against the Dark Arts.
And gets a rousing round of applause from all the Slytherins and almost no one else, which seems kind of rude.
Yeah, except for well, it is a little rude, except for Malfoy because he's distracted by his special mission.
Oh, and I really did love the podium, the metal owl on the podium before Dumbledore starts to speak, unfolding its wings. I thought that was a really beautiful effect.
Oh yeah, I thought that was lovely too. That's pretty good.
What was
It's just
lovely?
one of those moments.
It's the speaking podium. There's a little owl on it, and it's just relaxing. But when Dumbledore walks up to it, it spreads its wings.
Aww.
Just a little magical flourish. That's very beautiful.
Yeah, I like it. So McGonagall sees Harry and Ron having too much fun and tells them they should be taking some potions because Harry wants to be an Auror, which is something they talk about in the books that Harry does want to do that. And so he should be teaching. He should be learning that, but he thought he couldn't take it because he didn't get an O on his OWLs. But Slughorn exceeds expectations. And so then that's how they get to potions. And since they didn't think they were going to be taking potions, they don't have any in their school supplies for it. So they have to take some textbooks that are in the cabinet here. And
one new and one very battered.
Yeah. So Harry gets the older book. And then the kids, Slughorn puts up a competition. Whoever can make the best draught of death will win liquid luck, which in this movie is called Felix Felicis. And if you buy it at Honeydukes at Wizarding World, it's just gooey sugar. But here it's a little different. I don't know what it really tastes like.
So, theater dust, rain on a hot street, new books, and that male pherome, which is just sort of indescribable.
Musk.
Oh, you prefer
it's
the
not
new
musk
book.
because musk is really a little too
much.
Too much. If you've ever gotten close to a ferret, you know what musk is like. No,
okay, good point.
Subtler than that. But there's my 4.
That's your Amortentia. Okay.
Yes.
I just smell like man, so I don't know what it's with me all the time. So I don't know what it smells like specifically. But then again, that's not my cup of tea. So.
Well, yours will be different.
It is.
I like the contrast that I like old books, but you like the new ones.
I do. There's something about new ink in a book that has always kind of gotten me a little randy.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so of course we meet the Half-Blood Prince chemistry book, chemistry potions book, excuse me. And it has lots of helpful notes in the margins he crosses things out that the book gets wrong.
Felix
According to
Felicis, I
him.
think, is literally happy cat. And there's an argument in the chat, and I have to concur with Eugene Bird that J.K. Rowling is a genius.
Yeah, she's great. Well, she's a lot of fun. Hermione's middle name is Exposition. Okay. Oh, Tina Goldstein reminds me of Tiger Stripes. Oh.
I'll take it.
Is that bad? Oh, and Tony says, working on some extra things for tonight's show. I got 137 new members last night.
Damn.
Holy crap.
Wow.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Nice. So many new people are hanging out at the Tony Stark Byron channel. Oh, go hang out with him. Apparently that's the place to be. Oh my goodness. I stay steady at 33.
Liquid Luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Liquid Luck. And so because of this book, with all the notes in the margins, Harry's never been bad at potions, but he's never been exceptional either. And this book has made him best in class instantly.
And I do adore how Hermione's hair just becomes huge because of all the humidity leaning over the kettle while she's brewing, because my hair does exactly the same thing in those circumstances.
Well, I thought it was an excellent visual representation of her becoming frazzled, because she's usually at the head of the class, right? And
that too.
Yes.
And this is sort of an instance where Harry and Hermione both sort of learn that adhering to the rules to the letter of the book isn't necessarily the way that you're going to do the best. And I liked that a lot as well, because Hermione's like, you have to cut it. And he's like, well, I got some notes here that says if you crush it, it works better. And she's like, but that's not what the book says. And it's like, yeah, catch up. You got to be a little bit, you got to be able to improvise there, Hermione.
Yeah. That's Hermione's, once again, Hermione's shortcomings showing themselves right there. She holds anything written in the book to such a high regard, she completely disregards anything else.
Yes, so a lot of teachers are very much impressed when Hermione knows the answers to everything, but when Snape hears Hermione say an answer, he says straight from the book, like he knows exactly what she's doing. She recites directly from the text. She has a memory that allows her to just regurgitate what she's read. And so
I'd never thought of that. Do you think that Hermione has an eidetic memory?
She might. She remembers a lot of stuff. She remembers verbatim.
I'm always very jealous of people who have that ability. It must be really something.
Oh, I would hate to remember everything. Other people would like it if I remembered stuff, but I prefer not to.
Speaking of memories, Dumbledore is having these he's calling them special lessons or classes with Harry to teach him more about Voldemort and everything that he's been able to collect over the years about it.
And at this point, isn't it at this point we should be? Oh yeah, we're getting the looking at the memories and the flashback to seeing a young when Dumbledore first goes to visit a young boy called Tom Riddle at an orphanage.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing. That sums it up.
Yes.
And they're using the pensive.
So Qui-Gon Jinn goes to meet Anakin Skywalker, and everyone in the rest of the world knows that they should have just left him there.
Well, but Dumbledore didn't realize that he was talking to somebody who was going to grow up to be Voldemort.
I understand. Like, not even Yoda knew who Palpatine was.
No. Dumbledore didn't know he was going to become the most the most darkest and most evil wizard of all time. No, he didn't know. He might have suspected, but he didn't know for sure.
Well,
this
was
kid is a wonderful actor.
Yes.
I mean, amazing. And I noted that amongst his very few possessions, he seems to have a postcard of the coast where all of those inferi end up, and he hides one of his Horcruxes.
Well, it's a reference. I think it's a reference to the time where he takes a couple of kids to that cave, and they never come back. They come back,
right? But he
Yeah.
has
sick.
a postcard of it, as if maybe that's the first thing that ever drew his attention to that locale. It's interesting that it's there at all. It goes by
it's
fleetingly.
What's particularly dark about that is that he obviously is what he did to those kids in that cave, which we'll probably see the result. We'll see the result of later in the film.
Well, there's so many dead people in that cave. So many.
True.
Yeah, and there's so many things he did to the kids. There was a rabbit. He hung one of the kids' pet rabbits, and he just, when he says, "I can make people hurt if I want," if they're mean to him. That Dumbledore does hear this, but it doesn't deter him, and he decides to allow Tom. Well, maybe Tom feels bad for all the bad things he did, and let's make Hogwarts be his fresh slate.
Is any of this in the book?
Yes, all of that is in the book.
Ah, all right.
And did I know that I had just met the most dark wizard of all time? No. Yeah, and so he falters there. And that's it. Oh, and this is the special feature for Wool's Orphanage. I think this one was actually good. Some of the special features are good, some of them are just okay. So, that's what I liked of this. Look at this model. That's cool.
Wow.
Red brick, Victorian building, and so they found a building to base their models on. These models are amazing.
They are.
And then and I guess it's based on Oliver Twist, so that makes sense.
So they did the exterior shots for these buildings, and then they did the interiors on the set. Is that about it?
Yeah, that seems right to me. It's just a lot more digital stuff, obviously, now that we're in 2009.
Yeah.
And all done beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Play Nice has to take off.
Okay, DJ Play Nice, thank you so much for being here. DJ says, "Gotta roll out. Thanks for hosting. You rock. Have an awesome Friday is headed your way. Make it a good one." Oh, yes, I'm ready for it. Thank you so much, DJ Play Nice. All y'all be safe, have fun, take care of your crew, and rock.
And Scotty is often so vociferous in his dislike of Michael Gambon as Dumbledore that I've been meaning to mention for quite a while now that when they were changing 007s, Gambon was in the running. I just thought you might like to know that.
Yes, I recall that happened, but was he too young at the time?
No, he was just the right age, and
I thought he was
being considered as a replacement for Connery. He was
right,
in the running.
Yes, he was in the running instead of Lazenby, and with Michael Gambon as Dumbledore in this movie, he really is. I guess now that he's been around for long enough that I did think of Richard Harris a couple of times, but there's stuff here that I was just like, no, he's doing great. He's doing good.
He has an energy that you need at this point in the film and the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think he won me over in the Order of the Phoenix. I didn't like him in Azkaban or Goblet of Fire, but he gets better in the last movie.
And he does have
the end.
A bit of a sweeter nature in this, I think, because he realizes that he's dying and he's saying all the things that you should say to people all along, but that a lot of people hold back until they realize they're about to shuffle off the coil.
Then he also has to pass along his quest to Harry. Go ahead.
I
Dalek?
know. That's Dalek.
Did you have something, Dalek?
Yes, we hear you sputtering.
It's okay if you don't have anything. I just wanted to give you a chance if you did. Somehow, Voldemort has returned. Damn, wrong movie. No one's really gone. Oh, you already read that for me. Thank you. Perfect. So there's our first memory. Of course, the first memory in the book is seeing Tom Riddle's magical parents, his grandfather, and his mother.
Oh yeah, we see the Gaunt family. Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why they're significant is because they have the ring. And
the Gaunt ring, which has the major spoiler for the next two movies. It has the Resurrection Stone embedded in it.
Oh yeah, that. But for this movie, all we need to know is it's the Horcrux that gives Dumbledore a curse, and that's what messed up his hand.
It's what.
Oh, it's more than just messing up his hand. It's a death curse. He is effectively dying.
It's slow. Yes, it is slowly going to spread.
Oh wait, that's the next movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh well.
He manages to arrest it to the hand, but he is in effect dying.
It is. Yes.
Okay, but let's not expand on that because Scotty's got to watch the next movie.
I have to watch part 7.
But it is the first Horcrux, so I think it is an important one.
Oh, I think the first one is the diary. But you're right. I think in the order that he makes them, it's. I don't know really.
Oh, you know what? You're right. It must be the second.
It's the first Horcrux Dumbledore discovers once he actually starts hunting for them.
Ah, well said.
Yeah, it's the second Horcrux. The first one that he finds.
Jill,
hey,
Jamalama's
hello
here.
To Jamalama. Hey, hello.
Jamalama ding dong.
Wait too long.
Uh-oh. Greek letter says, wow, people. Wow. The ring is not in this movie. It's in the other trilogy of movies that was ripped off to make this movie. You know what I mean. One ring bind them.
No, right, because it's not a ripoff to use influences in your life that you've read and experienced and to incorporate them into your own work. That's not a ripoff.
But it's not a ripoff. It's just a ring. The only one we see.
But technically, the One Ring it does become a Horcrux for Sauron. So.
That's a good point. Yes. Oh yes, absolutely.
What?
Technically, yes.
Technically, yeah. It's his soul.
Yeah, nobody can turn the One Ring to the
All right, everybody. We're talking about Harry Potter. If we're going to keep talking about
you talk about Star Trek.
Grow back.
You talk about Star Trek.
Yeah. I don't know
and I kept my mouth shut that time. From now on, I'm shutting that down.
I'm doing Star Wars. And if you
we'll move on.
Sure. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we can move on because Harry is a Quidditch captain, and so he's got to pick the keeper. Sports time, yeah. So
and this is such a dark movie visually, literally.
Yes.
The blues and the browns, which they kind of limited the palette. I mean, there's points in this film where it's practically black and white, and I am very appreciative of all the Gothic arches throughout this film. Very dark, very Gothic.
Yes, and Hermione puts a confundus charm on McLaggen so that and Ron holds his own with the Quidditch tryout, so he really earned it.
Did you love that, Scotty? Quidditch in the snow? I thought it was very beautiful. I don't think they had done snow before.
One thing I gotta ask: why is the Quidditch pitch bare? Why are all the banners and things that you see hung up all over it in the first two movies? Where'd they go?
Well, in this one, I thought it was because they were doing like tryouts, and so there wasn't like a bunch of people there. There were only a couple. They didn't have it all decked out for.
They took them out.
Full match.
They took them off because they don't actually have a Quidditch game in this movie.
Yeah.
Did we jump by the dinner party and?
No, not yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. No, no. The only thing I did skip was Draco with the cabinet that's in Hogwarts in the room of requirement, which is another thing that we get to really quick in this movie.
He is so tortured, poor Draco, throughout this film. It's kind of nice.
Well, the problem, yeah, it is. Draco's got a huge problem because he's been Harry's been chosen by Voldemort, and so is Draco. Draco's been chosen by Voldemort to do this thing, and he doesn't have a choice. And he might put on airs that he does have a choice, but he doesn't.
It is sort of, I mean, they're checking everybody at the gate of Hogwarts. They're checking their names off lists. They're going through their luggage, and they don't think to roll up anybody's sleeve and see if there's a dark mark there. Really?
No, they don't. And well, I wonder why. Because Filch has this detector, like dark magic detector. How come it doesn't go off when Draco shows up?
When Draco, yeah.
You would think his tattoo would set it off. But anyway, we've got the.
Isn't that what they call
a
sneaker scope, or is that? No, that's not for.
What it's called?
That's not for dark magic. That's for untrustworthy people.
Yeah, and so the potion book, the Half-Blood Prince doesn't just give you recipe changes. He also gives you some spells, some different hexes and curses that he's come up with himself.
And this is one of them. And this is a particularly nasty one, Sectum Sempra.
Boy, is it.
Yeah. He doesn't provide any explanation of what the spell does. He just says for enemies.
For enemies, yeah.
That's to effectively split them in half.
Yep. We're coming up on 3 broomsticks for you.
Yes, love it. So much fun on the way there.
I do like Flitwick giving excuses to Slughorn, like, no, I'm busy right now, emergency choir practice.
And the great line where Hermione says, so I went to, and both Harry and Ron chime in, the library.
Dean Thomas, Ginny Weasley.
Yes, and Dean has grown over the summer, like 1.5 feet. I understand that's very painful. I've known people that happened to, who did all of their adult growth in one summer.
Well, apparently in the books, he's supposed to be taller than Ron. And during the movies,
he's taller than everybody now.
Dean Thomas grows by enough to always be taller than Ron. But yeah. So that works out.
It's snogging. Is that what snogging means?
Snogging.
Alec? Just kissing?
Snogging snogging is just kiss, a British slang for kiss. It's kissing. It's just.
Is it specifically wet kissing? Like a proper kiss.
I'm not entirely.
Where you're really going at each other. We're not talking about a peck.
Oh, like making out. Is there another word?
What you'd call? Yeah, I think. I'm not entirely certain, but I think basically, snogging is just what you would call making out. Yeah, I think that's what it just full on continuous kissing, I think.
Dictionary.com says British informal, to kiss and cuddle.
Okay.
That works for me.
They have example sentences from the Daily Beast. If you only manage to snog 3 people, you are a total loser. That seems kind of cold. I think 3 is a kind of a good number.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we're at the 3 broomsticks, and we get some butterbeer. Yeah, you want some butterbeer?
Where Harry carefully arranges how everyone sits to invite Slughorn over.
Right, because he's supposed to be letting Slughorn collect him.
Yes. And there's some really nice folk music in the background that, again, I had never really clocked before I watched this time. And I've seen this movie more than a few times. So I thought that was interesting.
And Harry's manipulation works. Slughorn invites Harry and Hermione to his next dinner party. And Slughorn says, "I remember when it was simply one broomstick."
All of Slughorn's dialogue in this scene is really hilarious. The story that he's telling when they walk in about sledding and Wallenby, and I love where he spills his drink on the table and says, "All hands on deck, Granger." Just.
I love that gag. I love that gag that they use where Slughorn doesn't know Ron's name because in the book he just straight up ignores him. He just straight up ignores Ron entirely. So
this is
I like
kinder than that.
change.
He's at least trying.
Yeah, he at least acknowledges his existence, which is way better.
Although it is the ultimate insult when somebody that you sort of like doesn't get your name right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and a teacher, you want to respect a teacher, and it's hard to do that when they don't respect you. Then Katie gets cursed from she finds the necklace because, because it's been given to her through Draco. In the books, it's Rod's murder.
No,
Slice Knight's here. Oh, and Kat's welcome on the panel if she wants to hang out.
Here's another interesting point. The necklace that curses Casey here is actually this was also first seen in Chamber of Secrets when Harry ended up in Borgin and Burke's because while he was there he actually walks in the shop. He actually sees or walks past a necklace sitting on a cushion and there's a notice saying "Curse, do not touch," and it's the same
necklace. Impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And so when this happens, he recognizes that necklace as being from that shop, and so that's why he suddenly suspects Draco because of where it comes from.
Ah.
Hagrid comes to help, and knowing effects of curses tells him not to touch it except by its wrappings.
Oh, and don't you think that Hermione's a little crocked on the way back from the Three Broomsticks? She seems a little drunk to me.
How many butterbeers does she have?
I don't know, but she seems a little drunk to me. I'm just saying.
I would think you'd need at least 3 or 4 of them to even feel anything.
It depends on whether you're a lightweight or not.
Guess so. I'm a lightweight, but butterbeer is like 1 or 2%. So it's almost nothing, which is why kids drink it. And she was cursed. So Snape arrives to examine the necklace, saying she's lucky to be alive. And Harry accuses Draco because of how he's been lurking around. And he saw Draco was lurking around the Three Broomsticks, so he might have seen that. But McGonagall and Snape don't buy it. So, because it's a big thing to accuse somebody of without any proof. And Harry and Ron talk about girls for a little bit. Actually, the only thing that bothers me about this scene is that Harry's supposed to be very careful with the Marauders map and always put it away. Like he always makes it a point to put it away. But not only is he leaving it on his bedside table, he's not even bothering to say mischief managed. And so anybody can read it.
Is it because that they're, what are they now? 6th years?
Yeah,
fourth
he's
years?
16.
Is that why
Sixth
the
year.
2 of them have the dormitory room to themselves?
Are they not in the 4-post? Are they not?
I don't see anybody
Dean
else
Thomas?
in the room. I don't see anybody else in the room.
Isn't
It just seems to be the 2 of them. Now, that's possible. You know, as you go up, as you advance and you get older, you might be extended more privileges.
I just thought they always had their same 5 roommates.
I think they're supposed to, because I think I think it's supposed to be like Gryffindor Tower has like different dorms for different years, and as you go through your years at Hogwarts, you go up further up. I think you like go up further up the tower to like the room that's designated to what year you're in, because in Chamber of Secrets when they go up to the dorm, there's a sign that are saying second years, so I'm assuming there's like different dorms for different years. That's actually how it was in. I think they did that in Hogwarts Legacy. In the house common rooms and the house dorms, there were different dorms for different years.
Oh, I want to welcome Kat to the panel. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, Kat.
Yeah.
Hello.
And the question for the panel today is, if Amortentia if you had a bottle of it, what would yours smell like? And if you need a little bit to think about it.
Mine would probably smell bitter.
Oh, Kat, darling Kat. Let me give you a virtual hug. Huggy hugs. Poor Kat.
Well, and that's that scene. Then here's the dinner party. This is what you were waiting for. Tiger Stripes.
This and the Christmas party just make the movie for me. Anytime people sit down at a table to eat together, I'm all in. I have no idea why.
I love it.
It's as a literary, device for movies, books, everything. TV. It means the world to me.
I love this whole concept of him collecting students for this, because he just totally wants to be, waxing at everybody else's celebrity as he perceives it.
Yeah, he lives through other people's success.
And you have to love the way he winnows them out. This is the first round, but not everybody makes the second round.
Yeah, God, I love him. I love this character. He's great.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And well, he asks Hermione about her parents, and she says they're dentists. Is that a dangerous profession?
Well, you're gonna drop the rest of it. She tells that great story about, is it her dad who gets bitten? And she's laughing the way we would laugh as muggles, as non-magical people. But all the magical people, besides Harry, look very horrified. That's like the difference between our world and their world.
Well, and they don't know what she means by stitches. Because they just put Dittany on everything.
Ah, good point. Yeah, that's true. They might well be horrified by the thought of somebody having to be stitched up.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course, Harry does know about it because, of course, he grew up with muggles for so long. He knows what all that is.
I do love that little trick there, how the sand from the hourglass runs in accordance with the quality of the conversation. That's really cool.
I love that too, and that's just a movie-specific thing, so that's pretty cool. They invented that.
Very beautiful hourglass. Oh, I had to mention also the beauty of the dessert that they were eating. Profiteroles in what's essentially an oversized champagne glass. It's just glorious.
And so this is Harry's first attempt to get the memory. He's got to get Slughorn's memory from... Oh, wait. Does he do that? No. He hasn't even seen the memory yet. Never mind. What? Has he? I don't...
Well, he introduces Harry to the pensive. Well, I mean, Harry's already been in the pensive, but he does show him a very specific memory, the false memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has he shown him the false memory yet?
I'm looking at my notes.
I don't think so. No,
okay,
I got it mixed up.
That's what it said. Sorry.
Oh, right. But Harry is asking Slughorn about Voldemort, so that's what confused me about it. He doesn't ask about the memory yet, though.
No.
And so they're getting ready for a Quidditch match, because they do have a Quidditch match in this movie, rather. It just they don't show a lot of it, but it's there. And there's going to be a Christmas party. So
Here we go.
What do you mean?
well, what everybody's talking about is that Harry makes it look like he's put Felix Felicis in Ron's pumpkin juice.
Psych.
Yeah, he and that gives Ron the confidence to succeed because he's always been a good keeper. He just gets nerves.
I like that lion hat, the getup that girl's wearing next to Ron.
That's
Luna.
Luna Lovegood.
Oh, that is Luna. Okay,
that is Luna. Yes, it's actually magically enchanted, and it's supposed to be animated. The eyes blink now and then,
and it's supposed to roar.
Yes.
She also makes an eagle one for when Ravenclaw plays. Pumpkin juice. Oh no. Greek letters does not like that. But Canadian Spider-Man says Harry should add a pouch full of ninja throwing stars to his wardrobe. Magic users and warlocks in Dungeons and Dragons often use distance weapons. Yeah. Well, actually, you'd like Bellatrix. She throws knives.
And then Ron discovers that the power was within him all along.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what happens, and Harry's just so happy about it. And
Sibo.
It is kind of funny. It's a nice costume touch that all of Ron's clothing here looks just slightly too small for him. Like, he's either outgrown what was bought for him or it's hand-me-downs from his brothers, but it's all a little too small. Oh, I love all of this. Come on. Gorgeous. Anytime they're flying in formation and just...
Yeah, it works out well, and now the stands have all the flags that were missing during tryouts, and so it's a pretty quick scene where you just see Ron succeeding. We don't see we don't see the Harry catching the snitch or anything. It's just all about Ron because, of course, in the books, Harry doesn't even get to play because he gets stuck in detention. But let's not worry about that. So it makes sense to focus on Ron.
Well, and it also heightens the relationship, the forthcoming relationship with Hermione and Ron, and it's kind of fun seeing her sort of squee for the goalie.
Mm-hmm. Except there's someone else squeeing, and she's taking advantage of the situation.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, Lavender Brown is now stuck to Ron for the next few months.
Poor Lavender.
Poor Ron. She's kind of insufferable.
Well, I don't think they're doing much besides making out as hard as they can. And he's taking advantage of that, isn't he?
Well, on the night of his success after the big game, yeah, I can understand that. But unfortunately,
and then after, he's a free agent, quote unquote.
It's a relationship based on physicality and nothing more. She was enamored, and then they snog. And he even says later on, he's like, "Oh, that's all she wants to do. I really have nothing in common with this girl, but it's hard to break it off."
Well, he should have thought of that before.
Maybe. Well, again, shallow.
Oh, it's all his fault, is it?
It's certainly part of his fault. It's part of his responsibility, yes.
Why is everything
people are together?
Why is everything in this kind of stuff the guy's fault?
Look at poor Draco up there. Just completely
the lad
tortured.
Is tasked with Moida.
Well,
if two people are in a relationship, there's two people in the relationship.
Yes.
If you want substance to your relationship, you've got to figure that out on your own.
This stuff with Lavender is the stuff I really hate in this film.
But it's actually not too far off to how she is in the book. She is just as shallow.
The door behind them burst open. To Harry's horror, Ron came in laughing, pulling Lavender by the hand.
But also, Dalek's point, they added stuff with Ron and Lavender that wasn't in the book at the expense
They do.
of all of the flashback scenes, which really made the book.
Yeah,
that drove me crazy.
That's true. We don't need it as much as we get, but they do have some things that are in there, like the necklace. That says I forget what the necklace says. It's embarrassing, whatever it is.
But I do like this sort of teenage romance, and I think it started off in the last movie, and now it's really getting into full swing. Like first kisses and the politics of relationships and stuff, and it makes sense that would happen at school. And so I do like the sort of Saved by the Bell 90210 with wizards.
Yeah, that storyline continues as Hermione.
Get it.
Oh, you just got to wait for a break, sir.
There's your break.
But I'm just saying, my problem is the movie. Like, the movie focuses on this stuff too much rather than what should be, rather than the important stuff and what's really important to the plot.
I think that 100%. I agree 100% with Dalek on that one.
Yeah, but I think that the characterization is what drives the story forward. Because if you don't care about these characters or their trials and tribulations, especially in love, not just in their magicking, it makes for a more engaging tale. Because there is a formula to these books and these movies. Is that we start off how are we getting to Harry? How are we getting Harry to Hogwarts? What is the primary thrust of the story? School, Quidditch. Now we have to deal with Voldemort for the last act of the film, and it does become a little formulaic. And I like when they toss in a little bit of something that I hadn't seen before in the other movies.
I would trade some of the romance stuff that doesn't appear in the books for the Marvolo scene or something that is more substantial.
In the book. Yeah, the House of Marvolo. That was great.
And so Hermione's trying to figure out who to take to Slughorn's party.
This was the most unbelievable thing. For me.
What's unbelievable?
Was that Harry wants to go with Ginny and Hermione wants to go with Ron, and then Harry's like, why don't we just go together? And she's like, how did I not think of this? And it's like, because I don't know. It doesn't make sense that you didn't think of it. You're the smartest character in the entire series.
No, it makes complete sense because she wants to stick it in Ron's eye. What were you going to say, Dalek?
And you just skipped over.
Yes, that's right.
Well, go backwards. Then. What did you skip over?
You just skipped over the part where Harry says one of the stupidest lines in the movie,
but I am the chosen one.
One of the stupidest things he's ever said.
Then she gives him a smack with a book, which is hilarious. Very Snape-like.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. Because she says Romilda Vane only likes you because you're the chosen one. It's probably true because we've never heard of Romilda Vane until after Harry gets exonerated for not being crazy, because the prophet tried to make him seem crazy in the last book, and so now she likes him, and she wants to give him a love potion.
Number 9.
Thanks for pointing that out. I did have that quote written down here. I think it's hilarious. So Harry has the idea to go with his friend Luna to the Christmas party. And so we're going to a party ready for Christmas.
And I thought it was sweet, but I don't think I could ever hang out with Luna for that period of time. She's too distant. And
I adore Luna, but I love her Christmas tree dress with her little Christmas ornament earrings. Just so beautiful.
I could listen to her all the time. She's really interesting. For the longest time,
Luna
I used to think Scrimgeour was a vampire because she was saying so during the Christmas party in the book, and I was like, oh, he's a vampire, and so I totally believed that for the longest time.
Oh, I know. I still completely believe it, and I've got a picture to prove it, I believe. Yeah, let me share my picture with you. Which one is it? It's got an alphanumeric on it. Here we go.
The Lavender's Kiss.
Yeah, there's a special scene about her.
Did you
kiss.
get my picture?
Oh, do you have a picture? Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah. I
Did you share it?
I don't know if we're there yet. I did share, I thought. Yes.
Okay, here it is.
There it is. Yes. There's the vampire on the right, on the left.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes. No, he's actually is a vampire. Everybody's talking about him.
Yeah,
So
there's a vampire at the party.
At the party.
Who?
The guy on the left, I think, is intended to be the vampire.
What?
Yeah, there was a vampire at this Christmas party.
Kidding me, right?
It's from the book.
No, it's I didn't
from the
realize.
book.
Was this a deleted scene?
No, he's in the film. He's just has no lines, and he's a background character. And this is, just happens to be a nice close-up photo of them. And I'm surprised I was able to find it. It just sort of popped up for me, which was very lucky.
Slughorn had a
vampire.
Slughorn had a vampire at his Christmas party.
It's in the book.
He did. I forget why.
Oh, for cachet.
Damn it.
You've got to. If you know one, you have to invite them.
Oh, yeah. Anything to spice up the party and make it look more interesting.
That's like how my grandma used to say it. Book.
Nice to know. I say it because that's how the Beatles all used to say it. A book. A bleeding book.
I guess they also.
That's how my. Yeah, that's how my grandma used to say it. Book. Book.
I love that. I love that.
I'm glad you reminded of your grandma. So, Draco in the last scene, I just kind of skipped over.
Yeah, so you can move on.
You could see that. You could. Yeah. Thank you. Let me take this off.
How was that?
Here we go. I skipped over it, but Draco fixed the cabinet. So we're at the point of the movie where the cabinet's been fixed because he sends an apple through and it comes back with a bite in it. So the teleportation cabinets are ready to go.
I
and you
did
finally
find
see what
that
they're doing.
A little confusing.
It's called the proper name for it's the vanishing cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yes. I found that a little confusing because they show him experimenting with it more than once. The first time the apple comes back with a bite, so you're pretty clear that there's somebody on the other side of the cabinet. And then the second time he does it with the canary. And then the canary is dead. And for the longest time I thought, well, somebody has killed the canary on the other side, the same person who took a bite out of the apple. But then when I watched it this time, I realized, no, there's really nobody there at Bergen and Berks. And the canary simply died because it's difficult to use a vanishing cabinet for that purpose.
It's because the vanishing cabinet was broken. It was malfunctioning, and what Draco's trying to do is he's trying to fix it. So to the Death Eaters can just come through, get into Hogwarts that way.
Yes,
but I do love this party so very much.
And those were and yeah, the bite missing from the apple, the canary dying. That's because the vanishing cabinet was broken. It wasn't working properly.
Yeah.
After Peeves broke it. Well.
Yes, Peeves broke it because Nicholas nearly headless Nick told him to do it, and it was a distraction so Harry could get back to the common room before Filch caught him. And the Canadian Spider-Man says to Greek letters, the Glocks take ammo, which is heavy. Plus, you can't peel an apple with a Glock. Well, not easily, anyway. Wait, what? He also says, thanks for being here to everyone. Your support is wonderfully appreciated. Definitely agree. Toodle Essence? Is that right?
Toodleskay.
Toodleskay. Toodleskay says, give Ron a break. He's never kissed a girl before.
Yeah.
Oh, it's heavy stuff that first time you start being physical with another person.
Except for Fleur Delacour.
Oh, was that just a kiss on the cheek, though?
Yeah, I thought that was the French hello kiss.
But he was enamored with her, so I'm sure it still meant something to him.
Well, in the book I noticed that when Ron's talking about being a free agent, he is still referring to Hermione and Crumb. So he's still really jealous about that. And he's assuming that they snogged. I would say I don't think they necessarily did.
Oh, I think they did.
I don't know.
Well, because she says.
No,
she's
she
like
makes
that.
a few. No, she doesn't do that on purpose. She corrects herself. She makes a unintentional euphemism, a double entendre. But
what does she say?
I think it's possible that they were just
A
holding
physical
hands or
being.
something. Yes.
Well, yeah, she says that he's got
a-
like more arms than like an octopus or some magical thing. And
No, she's talking about
somebody
Cormac
else.
here. Yeah, we are.
Oh.
We're at cross things here. Anyway.
But
love this scene.
with Crumb though, they were pen pals in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this
Sorry,
is
Crumb?
But clearly Ron's mind has kind of gone to places that Hermione and Crumb didn't necessarily go.
Like Crumb from Conan the Barbarian, the god from Conan.
Crumb from the Triwizard Tournament, one of the champions. The guy who
he already knew that. He's just pretending not to.
No, I'm being purposely obtuse.
That okay?
Yeah, he was one of the Triwizard champions who was
Yes.
from Goblet of Fire. But Snape gets his shoes vomited on because I guess Dragon Balls are disgusting.
I didn't even know dragons had balls. I thought they had cloaca.
Malfoy gets caught by Filch, and Snape comes to his rescue and then chastises him for his feeble attempts that are actually endangering other students instead of actually accomplishing his mission. And
it's good to see Filch again. I know we're not supposed to like Filch very much, but it's good to see him in the movies. I like the continuity.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's kind of a sympathy towards him because he's a squib and he wants to do magic, and he has this quick spell course where he wants to figure out how to be a wizard, but he can't. And Toodleskay says Ginny confirmed that Hermione and Crumb snogged when she was making fun of Ron. And Penny is heading home.
Interesting.
Safe travels, Penny. Greek letter says Crumb laughs at your cynicism.
Yeah, I thought you would read that.
Thank you.
Shoulder again.
Oh, I hope your shoulder feels better, Dalek.
I don't know. So lately, ever since, for some reason, every time I sit in my chair at my laptop, my left shoulder starts aching really badly after a while.
I like that he had Neville doing servant duty at the party.
Ooh,
Why
I have
that again?
another share.
And just to include more of the cast in this scene.
This might be well saved for the next film. I don't know. I'll let you make the decision, Jill. But I don't know if I'll be here, the next time. So.
Oh, okay.
It's
Wait,
one of my very favorite Harry Potter. It might be my favoriteest Harry Potter meme.
Which one?
I'm sharing one.
Oh, okay.
I know there was a brief interchange between Harry and Neville, but why was it that Neville was sort of steward?
He didn't make the Slug Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Baxby is doing towel duty in the toilet, handing people towels and things. So it
he kind of tricks them into working for him at the party.
What are we looking at?
How much is tuition at Hogwarts?
I shared you. I'm sharing it. It's a meme.
I don't see a meme. I see it.
Hilarious.
Oh, wait a minute. I think you shared the wrong screen.
Did I? Okay, let me try again. Let's stop screen. Okay, present. Okay, which one is this? This starts with 89A. Okay, share screen. Oops. Present. Share screen. Why is this happening like this? Oh, 89A. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Share. I'm sorry for this lag. I really thought I knew how to do
But that's
this.
okay.
There it is.
That's okay. We're just on the train home for the holidays anyway. We're okay.
This one,
We can
well,
take
this
a
is
little
from the party because we're talking about Neville. So
yeah,
Go ahead and pop it up because it is just the best thing ever.
That awkward moment when Neville is the best looking guy in the entire cast. Well, it's great the way that they can have him blow up like that because he's got that.
He got there.
He got there, and it happened naturally. But also, they put he as a Hogwarts student when he was younger, he had to wear this fake teeth. He had to wear extra weight on his fat suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but anyway, that one never gets old for me.
Yeah. In Deathly Hallows, he doesn't have to wear any of that stuff. He gets to be himself, and he's grown up.
Hello, housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
And so,
see, this is the thing. They're having a relationship based on physicality, and they just don't have any other connection. It's all. I can understand why Ron would be upset.
Right. Okay, so.
Oh, right.
The burrow for Christmas.
The burrow for Christmas, yay!
Greek letters. That is usually my go-to. I'm sorry, I slipped. I don't know why. I thought I was at a Holiday Inn for a moment. Ghostbusters. What do you want?
No, but I like both of them. They're both good. Both good answers.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry is talking to Lupin about how he's suspicious of Snape, but Lupin says Snape is loyal to Dumbledore, and I trust Dumbledore, so I trust Snape. And Lupin says you're blinded by hatred. And then there's some flirting and stuff. Oh, I like seeing the inside of Arthur's shed of Muggle artifacts that he's collected. He's got a pinball machine back there, if you can see it.
Ooh,
oh, really?
The screen's not sharing the.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you not see it?
No, I just see the background photo of Harry and Hermione looking out over.
You don't see it, Jill.
I see it.
I see what Kat sees. Harry and Hermione on the top of a tower looking out.
Oh, that is what's on YouTube, but not on StreamYard. That's strange because I do have both windows open. But yeah, right now it is.
What's going on?
I'm on StreamYard. I don't see the. All I see is them looking out.
It's not on. It's not on YouTube either.
YouTube's got
the same way the entire time. Okay.
No,
the entire time.
No, everything's been relatively.
So just so I'll just stop sharing and I'll reshare.
Yeah, sounds good.
So that should
enjoy this problem solving.
I hope that wasn't my fault.
No, it's fine. I'm glad you shared. I like it when people share external stuff, so don't worry about it. How's that?
There we go.
Is that?
Yeah, now it's back.
Does that work?
Yes, that's definitely the shed.
Okay,
full of
that's
stuff.
It.
You still have a good eye if you can see a pinball machine and all that because
I think it's a pinball machine. I'm not sure.
It is.
What do you think that is?
I am a pinball wizard.
I see it now.
That's
certainly,
I see it.
That
now.
looks like a pinball machine to me.
It's got Eric's standing atop.
Eric's is everywhere.
Eric's is everywhere.
He keeps me safe.
May Eric's be with you.
Awesome. Well, but no, Mr. Weasley. I love that he collects. He collects all different kinds of cords, all different kinds of fun Muggle stuff. He loves it. And they don't really talk about it, but he's there. And what is he actually talking about? Oh, he's talking about the vanishing cabinet and explaining that it can transport someone anywhere.
Do they tell the tale of that horrible wizard named Seth Brundle who used the vanishing cabinet, but a fly went in with him, and unfortunately he was fused to the fly? Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Wrong movie.
No.
Yeah. I do like that one, though. I like the Jeff
I'm
Goldblum
misremembering.
one. Well.
So is this...
And, okay, so we're coming up on my...
Well, I have a question. I just have a quick
yes.
question. Is this sort of signifying that that Harry, at the very least, is now part of the Order of the Phoenix, because that's why we get to see Lupin and what's her name?
Not yet, but he's not of age. He has to be out of school.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
I mean, that's why Harry
Hey, and
formed Dumbledore's army.
Where's the crazy guy with the eye?
Oh, Moody? Yeah, where
Yeah.
is Moody? He doesn't show up in the book either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you jumped over all of the awkward,
Where does he?
romance between Ginny and Harry.
I did.
And the tarts.
That was on purpose.
I loved all that, and the little
You like that?
mincemeat tarts. I loved all that. And
Well, they're
also,
definitely getting very
Lupin's
comfortable.
talking about Severus and how much he has to trust Severus because Dumbledore trusts Severus.
I didn't skip that part though. I did mention that. And this is my least favorite. Like, I love having Christmas at the Burrow, but then
they flip and burn it down.
Then they burn it down.
Bloody hell!
And it's not supposed to be destroyed. The director must be very proud of himself for doing that. And
Hey, Padawannabe. It's good to see you, Padawannabe.
Yeah, this was a huge departure from the book.
And I have to say, I did hate it, and I don't like to use the H word.
Yeah, it's the only part of the movie that I hate.
I'm waiting for Dalek to chime in.
Yeah.
I just thought it raised the stakes. I can't.
I think it's worse because the director used this scene as justification for why he really pared down the climax. He's like, well, we already had this big action scene in the Burrow. It's like, well, you didn't need it because you had the climax from the book, you know?
Completely concur.
Yeah. And if you'd invested more of the story into all the memories, which are really engaging, instead of all the lovey-dovey stuff, then maybe you wouldn't need this action scene.
I think it would be bogged down in plot.
No, you gotta read that book.
You're not.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Understand.
But I
You don't
appreciate it.
understand, Scotty. Cat is correct that because they do this action.
Sorry about that.
See, do you remember the last movie with the battle of the Department of Ministry? It was supposed to be like that. This is the battle too at the end of the movie, but we don't get any of the battle. We just get the showdown with the Draco and Snape and the Death Eaters. That's all we get. So we don't get the battle where Bill gets hurt by the werewolf. We don't get the part where
right.
Well, I mean, but
and in the book, there's that bit where the new Minister of Magic, Scrimgeour, shows up and talks to Harry and tries to manipulate him politically, and I liked that too.
Yeah, they cut Scrimgeour out completely, which I take Scrimgeour over the Burrow being destroyed.
I would take anything over this sequence, which is just stupid and useless.
Yeah, it doesn't add anything, and I guess it makes you like, okay, nobody's safe now because the Death Eaters can find your unplottable, supposedly safe place to be.
No, I like the movie. I haven't read the book, but the movie's paced nicely for me. I liked everything in it.
Good. I like most of it. My only problem was the Burrow being destroyed.
I think I must have forgot that part.
You forgot about it?
No, I thought you'd really go on about it. So,
well, I did.
Me.
I
think I'm more angry about it.
I think I forgot. They just forgot they did that.
Oh, no, it's my least favorite moment of all the films.
Well, because then Harry runs out into the field for some reason, and then Ginny runs out.
It's definitely an outrage they did that, for sure.
Yeah, let's all be as stupid as possible.
Well, but yeah, all right.
They did a lot of fun production stuff though with that scene.
Something about this whole movie, it seems like they really overdid it on the color grading because everything looks just a bit fake.
Mm-hmm. Well,
except for these sequences.
Well, this is a pensive.
No, before that, like when they're in the hallway and stuff. Like the whole movie has this weird yellow.
Oh yeah,
color.
The colors are definitely muted.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real like the other movies.
It's a weird choice.
Yeah, I feel the artificiality of it a bit too much.
Interesting.
I wasn't. I noticed the special effects, but when I did notice them, I was like, "That's actually pretty good." And I agree with the color grading on it in terms of it almost being like it looks like Fallout 3 a lot of the time in terms of the
I know
greens.
cinematographers loved it because it got an Oscar nomination for cinematography.
Oh, okay. But I thought that the entire sort of the way that it is presented, just artistically and in its cinematography, matched up perfectly with the ending.
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, they're trying to get it to tonally match. I just thought that visual consistency from the previous 5 movies, like it didn't feel like they overdid really much color grading on the previous 5. Like it looked like a real place. Like this looks almost like the whole movie's been put under some kind of hex.
I concur.
Mm-hmm. I do, and I see it more as a plus.
I admit the whole movie is it's too dark. It's far too dark. I mean, why is it
literally visually?
Even in daylight, it's like even like the scene earlier when they're out in Hogsmeade in winter. It looks like it looks like you're looking at through not looking at a real scene. You're looking at through a lens rather than
right.
But that's also been something that happens throughout the series in terms of transitions that go through panes of glass, the presence of snow.
No. We're talking about the color
I'm just
grade on the
finishing my
entire
statement,
film.
if you don't mind. It is a cold, dark movie because of where it does go tonally. I don't know anything about the differences between the book, but yes, I agree with what you're saying, but I think it does contribute to the feeling of the movie itself. Heck, even the end of the movie pretty much looks like the end of Empire Strikes Back in terms of looking to the future, hoping that thing will get better.
Yeah.
And see, look at how that all looked. That even that shot of either Fred or George or Harry looking, it looks so real. But this now
right from the first movie.
Yeah.
Or the second one, I forget. Yeah, the second movie.
Second one, yeah, second one.
But yeah, definitely they do put a shadow on this one, but that's I guess the shadow of. But also remember, all the Dementors are free. Like Dementors could be all over the place, making everything dark.
Oh right, yeah, of course. In the book, there's this mist everywhere because of the Dementors.
So could it be that? And so Dumbledore saying Harry's got to get this memory of whatever Slughorn was talking to not Draco, Voldemort, Tom Riddle, regarding the Horcruxes and what they are.
I just feel like Horace would be a perfect candidate for sneaking a few drops of Verita serum into a cup of tea and asking him that way instead of doing this whole thing for months on end.
I feel like there's an explanation in the book that says that Veritaserum won't work, and hexing or tricking him with magic wouldn't work. Otherwise, Dumbledore would have done that already, is something Hermione says, and that only Harry can get this information from Slughorn.
Yeah, because when they used it on Barty, he certainly didn't want to divulge the information, but he just sung like a canary.
But for some I think that
even Umbridge did it.
I'd have to find it. But they specifically say Veritaserum wouldn't work or didn't work. Like I don't know if Dumbledore
or even a nice little quiet conversation with Dumbledore at the headmaster's office. Maybe you could coax him that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it wouldn't. It doesn't work. I don't know why. They don't say why it doesn't.
Because of plot armor.
He's very concerned about his
reputation. But they at
reputation.
least mention it. I do appreciate that they at least mention it.
And it is shame, I think.
Oh, I don't know how to spell that word. Oh, God. Hold on just a minute. I want to grab this so I can see. So I can answer this question. Morphin? No, not morphin.
Oh, that's a good question.
You don't need me. You can use. Okay, yeah. Harry says, "You don't need me. You could use legitimacy or veritaserum." And Dumbledore says, "Professor Slughorn is extremely able wizard who will be expecting both. He's more accomplished at occlumency than Morfingaunt, and I'd be astonished if he has not carried an antidote to veritaserum with him ever since I coerced him into giving me this travesty of a recollection." So there's the explanation for that.
Oh, very nice. Occlumency.
Hey, but at least I didn't ignore it.
But I love all of this. I love the
Yeah, me too.
sequence of Harry going to Slughorn and then him misstepping and then the door being shut and then this happening and everything just sort of rolling. It's beautifully plotted, beautifully written.
Yeah, the pacing is really good with Ron being absolutely hilarious and hilariously in love with
really
Romilda
funny.
Vane.
He's
without
wonderful in
even
this.
having ever met her.
Good old Rupert.
Because he eats all of the chocolate cauldrons that were meant for Harry.
Yes,
so that's a.
And I'm going to say real quick here that I think it was just last year there was a Harry Potter advent calendar that looked like it came in the form of a box, and it looks like a potions box with all of the little doors and drawers. It was so beautiful. I wanted it so much. They wanted 3 figures for it, but I really didn't want it for all the toys. I want, because every door has a toy behind it or, some sort of piece of jewelry or something. I wanted it for the box.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It was spectacular. I could try to find a picture if you want.
Yeah, but I mean, I would never be able to spend that much on a toy.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Anyway, Ron. So Professor Slughorn is able to break Ron free from his love potion. He's got an antidote. He mixes up an antidote for him, and then they celebrate with some mead. But unfortunately, the mead is poisoned because it was from the 3 broomsticks, and Draco had it poisoned to somehow get it delivered from Slughorn to Dumbledore, and that was the plan until this happened, until Harry intervened here, and Hermione got it instead. But the only reason Ron's not dead is because Harry stuffed a bezoar into his throat, which he learned from the Half-Blood Prince.
And it's a nice callback to the first film.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, where Snape is asking Harry, "What is a bezoar?" And Harry has to say, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm. It's found in the stomach of a goat.
Oh, and there's the potions box. If you want to put it up briefly, if it doesn't,
I do.
jam up your system the way my last one did. Isn't that spectacular?
Oh wow!
Oh,
that's great.
As a toy and an artifact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so
That's
much fun.
amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I love toys.
That's nice.
I would play. Let's see. Okay,
Yeah, it came back.
It came back? Okay, thank you.
Hurrah!
So anyway, so Ron.
And this is my favorite line in the whole film.
Oh, yeah, this is great. Just something that Slughorn would do.
Oh, and not this line, of course, but after poor Lavender comes in the room.
Well, and the fun thing is that this is all happening during Ron's birthday, so he's having not the best birthday
Not
ever.
a good birthday.
But I like this, even though it's done differently from the book, because it shortens the the relationship between Ron and Lavender by a fair bit, which is thankful. And it's sort of the same thing anyway. In the books, she gets jealous of Hermione anyway, so it works. So it's just Ron saying Hermione's name while he's asleep. And that ends.
There it is.
That ends the.
Oh,
now
the
we
line,
no
the
longer.
line. Back it up one more.
Okay, which
oh,
line?
to be young and feel love's keen sting.
I loved that line.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. Ah.
Well, and now we don't have to hear Lavender say "one" anymore,
which I am eternally grateful for.
I'm glad you skipped over the bit when she was that bit on the Hogwarts Express when she did the
heart.
That yes. Ugh.
I did skip that. I didn't think it was interesting or important.
See, it's so funny. I don't like the fawning of Lavender, but I love the fawning of Moaning Myrtle.
It's not just. I mean, and that moment's not just cringe. They drag it out for so long.
Yeah, but again, in terms of a sort of storytelling thing, we're supposed to feel the discomfort that Ron is going through. So I did appreciate
because he's finally getting over her. The spell that she had over him is broken. Not a real spell. She wasn't manipulating him with an enchantment or anything. I should be careful with my language.
It's not so much a spell as that he's too timid to tell her that he doesn't like her, and like you mentioned earlier, he gets tired. Like, yeah, we don't have anything in common. All she wants to do is snog all the time.
Well, when I said that, I meant at first he was into it.
Yeah, at first he was into it, but as it goes on, he doesn't have the courage to put a stop to it. It's like one of those things where you're so deep in, you don't feel you can jump out.
Hermione does call him a coward for it, but
that's also sort of a representation of the young love, isn't it? In terms of it, like as someone in the chat mentioned before, is that this is the first time that Ron's ever really kissed a girl, and so he's smitten by the fact that someone's paying attention to him. He was hesitant at first, but after the victory, he just sort of gets wrapped up in the situation.
I think it's more like the heady dive into physicality. That can be addictive very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And then you realize that you have to talk to the person afterwards.
Nothing sadder than a dead bird.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving was just passed, and that was a pretty good dead bird.
Ron, you're making it snow. The look on her face, though.
I know.
I really thought it was Lavender who was responsible for it snowing on Ron, but
oh, you think so?
I could be wrong.
In the book, so I think he was just distracted in Charms class, and he makes it snow. I don't think it was connected with that, but I like it in the movie. I like the change. And Katie Bell doesn't know who cursed her because, of course, she was under the Imperious curse, so she didn't know what she was doing. And Draco's crying in the bathroom, and we're gonna have that little confrontation where Harry's gonna use the Half-Blood Prince's spell on Draco. Well, that is what he does, right? Yeah, he does that here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the moment. This is the moment where he
Yes.
uses it. Sectum Sempra.
And this is when Snape finds him. That's when he starts getting suspicious because he recognizes that.
Right. Then there's only one place. Like, if he didn't learn it from somebody else, he had to have learned it from the book. So he knows about the book now. That Harry has it.
Well, this is also something that I like. He almost
Snape.
It looks like he almost kills him.
Yeah, this is actually one of the. This
Oh,
is
he
actually,
does.
Gotta give Snape credit there. Because this is actually one of the very few, if only, times in the Harry Potter books and movies that we actually we come across a wizard who actually invented a spell.
Yeah, for sure. More than one. Levi Corpus also.
Oh yeah, Levi Corpus. Yeah.
And that was the strange thing, is that they used Levi Corpus in Order of the Phoenix, even though they hadn't discovered this book yet. But maybe it became part of the curriculum. I don't know.
But I think that moment where Ginny and Harry kiss and it's not like
Yeah.
done over the top. It's just a touching single kiss that when you've had Ron sitting there complaining about the constant snogging, Ginny actually, like, it was a single kiss that really did, I think, in the performances and the way that it was presented, does show an honest and earnest affection.
Oh,
And I
they did
liked
more
that.
than that, though. They did more than that.
What, they did the business, the coitus?
I don't think that, but I do believe they made out pretty
No.
hard afterward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she says, "Come find me," basically.
Oh, okay.
She says, "I'm going to hide too," and and that's an invitation.
Right, but that's also in terms when it comes to showing romance.
Yeah, it's not shown on screen, but
right.
When what is it? Ron says, "So you and Ginny did it."
Yeah,
and Harry looks very guilty. Yeah,
in the book, I mean.
Well, in the movie.
Oh no, in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Like, she says, or Ron says, hid the book.
Yeah, to hide the book. Yes. And so, but now Harry's got to take it seriously to get that memory. He's got to get Slughorn's memory.
Yay! This is a wonderful sequence.
It is.
I really love this because I feel like the way that Daniel Radcliffe plays Harry Potter on Felix Felicis is really how I feel about how he is in the books all of the time. Always just really clever and kind of because he talks back to Snape a lot in the books, and it reminds me the attitude of Harry on Felice.
He gets that from his dad.
Feels like book Harry.
Well, he does have spring in his step, and I do enjoy how the liquid luck just sort of
I do feel
propels
like
him.
there's a slight drug analogy here, but I don't want to go there. Don't do drugs, kids.
No, do them. They're fun.
No, you're right. No, but you're absolutely right. If you take too much, they do warn that it can have bad side effects. I forget what they are. But he says,
Tasha Yar.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing, or at least Felix does.
Yeah.
But he does sound a little potted in this whole sequence.
Well, and I like how when he's sorry.
I like the way he is sort of parodying Broadbent and Slughorn, when he says, "Well, by then all means come along, sir." It's good. It's good stuff.
Well, and as he exits the room after chugging the liquid luck, he, like, I don't even know who the students were, but he passes two students and they're like, "Hi," and it's like, "Hey guys," and it was very ingratiatingly enthusiastic. And it's liquid luck or liquid courage. It's your choice.
Well, when you want to mention the drug analogy, here it is. It says here, it's meant to be used sparingly, as it causes the drinker to succumb to giddiness, recklessness, and dangerous overconfidence if taken in excess.
That sounds like me.
And in large quantities, it's highly toxic.
That sounds like me as well.
Oh, I like this bit here where, like, Hagrid's clearly devastated, and yet Horace is like, "Can I take a sample?"
He does.
Sample of venom. And it's like, "Jeez, Horace."
Yes.
At
Solely
least
for
he asks
academic
for it.
purposes, of course.
This is another one where I
God,
like
you
the
can
movie better because he asks for it here. In the book, he kind of just serendipitously does it. Like he hides that he's stealing the venom.
He is a Slytherin. Don't forget.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the head of Slytherin.
I didn't forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was in Slytherin, and I think when he was originally at Hogwarts as a teacher, he was the head of Slytherin House, like Snape.
he was.
Okay.
That's why he was entertaining Tom Riddle in his quarters.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. I just didn't pick up on it from the film.
Yes, this is correct. He is, and he becomes head of Slytherin after Snape leaves too.
And this, in a design sense, it's so great that they have poor Aragog dead on his back like a giant bug.
But
it's so undignified the way bugs die upside down.
He seems so much smaller now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The eyes, I reckon, they unnerve some folk.
Not to mention the pincers.
Yeah, that definitely shows a little bit of inebriation.
Yeah, I don't. Oh God, I can't. The shading in this scene is horrible.
I
again,
really
like,
liked the misty mountains in the background. They're very pretty.
There is a pall of death around it, and it is sad that Aragog
Death is a big
has died.
Go ahead.
But it's also a giant spider, so it's vaguely hilarious too.
It is. It is. It's
yeah.
these books have my favorite funeral and the saddest funeral. And this is my favorite funeral. And I like they kind of cut Slughorn's words for Aragog, and they kind of make it funny. It's more funny in the movie, but I like the full thing that he says.
Mm-hmm.
Farewell, Aragog, king of the arachnids, whose long and faithful friendship those who knew you won't forget. Though your body will decay, your spirit lingers on in the quiet, web-spun places of your forest home. May your many-eyed descendants ever flourish, and your human friends find solace for the loss they have sustained.
Lovely.
I've just always loved that eulogy.
Beautiful words.
It's amazing.
Made up on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Right, because he's so happy he got that. He got the venom.
Well, and also I do one of the things that I adore about Hagrid is just that he's a friend of the beasts, and this is no different. And there's always, again, I don't want to say formulaic in a negative connotation, but it is something that reinforcement of character that I do appreciate. The only person I know who's never going to betray me is Hagrid.
That's true. Yeah, he's steadfast.
Yes.
Great word.
So, but also the adults. It's time for the adults to get drunk.
Come, Harry, we're gonna get drunk in front of you and mourn our spider.
Okay, I'll clap. I'll clap. It's almost reminiscent of the scene from Jaws when they sing "Show Me the Way to Go Home." It was great. I love it.
No, but that's just like going to Christmas with family when I was growing up, so it makes sense to me. Grown-ups getting drunk, and I watch Hagrid passes out in this chair.
We did it, you and me.
And that's the point that we actually get. That Felix Felicis tells Harry now Slughorn will reveal his secret. He's because of the liquor. He's not going to remember it in the morning.
It is lucky.
And so Harry uses Slughorn's appreciation for Lily to say to guilt him into giving up his memory.
Well, and
that's pretty accurate.
With Eugene Bird, he said earlier that J.K. Rowling is a genius, and in terms of the storytelling, I tend to agree, because this would be the part of any other story where if you wanted to find something out, then you would get drunk with your friend, and then they would go into a reverie and spill the beans, as it were. But in this one, it is absolutely natural for following the death of a friend, and you need someone to hang out with. Let's share a bottle and reminisce. Obviously, you can't do that with a kid because the kid can't drink. But I did like how it was incorporated. And because they both trust and enjoy Harry's company, and he was incredibly lucky, I think it works for the scene, and I liked it.
And yeah, I liked it too.
And
really
I'm going to step in here and say, here is straight from the book. Looking Slughorn straight in the eye, Harry leaned forward a little. I am the chosen one. I have to kill him. I need that memory. Slughorn turned paler than ever. His shiny forehead gleamed with sweat. You are the chosen one? Of course I am, said Harry calmly. So there you go.
I will bring
Perfect.
balance to the Force.
Oh, I love that entire. I love all of that. Thank you very much for reading that part of the book. It's good stuff.
I was surprised to see it myself. So, oh yeah, this memory is.
Yeah, now the memory is complete.
He looks so. The actor here, Fiennes, looks so much younger than the guy who played him in Chamber of Secrets.
He does.
He looks like a little kid. He looks like he's 12.
I think that there's supposed to be a difference in age between the two, and he looks very much like the child they had earlier in the film, and their delivery is very similar. I wonder if somebody coached them, because that's really apt.
I feel like he seems way younger than his alternate self from Chamber of Secrets, because he just seemed like a little kid here. I don't know why.
Well, some people shoot up, in a summer.
A little kid who wants to learn how to split his soul via murder and magic.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is a spoiler for Harry Potter 7 and Harry Potter 7, but is Harry Potter one of the Horcruxes?
Do you want us to really answer?
You want us to
No, don't answer. Don't
do
answer.
You want us to spoil that for you?
Your silence speaks volumes. But as soon as it was like it's going to be really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I actually can't believe that you figured that out. Good.
Very clever.
What?
I think you probably looked ahead.
I think you reached that conclusion.
That's why he has those abilities.
Why do you think I'm cheating? I'm not. Oh, that's fine. Underestimate my power.
You're not.
I said I was impressed. I said I was very impressed.
No,
so
nobody
you can take it any way you want.
I don't have to be
If you want to put that shoe on, go right ahead.
No, we're not impressed because it's you, Scott. We're impressed that you figured something like that out just from the very limited information from the movie compared to the book.
Okay, so spoilers.
Yeah. So that's
it will be paid off later.
You're only worried about spoiling for you, Scotty. You're the
actually...
only person in the room and the chat and anywhere in the world that is going to be
doesn't know
spoiled
anything
by
about
this.
We're only we're only actually supposed to find. We're not supposed to find that out until the last movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
But if it wasn't for you, Scotty, I would be spoiling every bit of this entire story because we are dealing with it as a whole. Those of us who know it.
Most people saw it 20 years ago.
Yeah. No, this is all new for me, but I appreciate your restraint and thank you. I'm glad I picked up on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Hey, Franco.
Well done on getting that so quick.
Yeah, I certainly didn't. It was a surprise for me.
He's basically
Franco.
Harry is basically the Horcrux Voldemort never meant to make.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. But don't go into it. We'll find out later. It'll be a dramatic pause. It'll be a swell of music. It'll be great.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, you know it, but you don't know how. So
yes.
Let's leave that. Let's leave that.
Oh, now Snape's confronting Dumbledore about his plan or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. Have you considered you ask too much? I don't want to do this anymore.
It is interesting. Do you think that Dumbledore just asks Snape to go with him? Because why Harry and not Snape in this situation?
I think because the magic of the caves only allows one wizard to accompany the boat to be on the boat to get the Horcrux, and it doesn't register. It doesn't register Harry because he's underage and sometimes
that's interesting.
Voldemort underestimates kids, like age sometimes underestimates youth.
But also, he is the chosen one. Dumbledore
that's...
knows that, and Dumbledore knows that the only person who could successfully defeat Voldemort is Harry. So you might as well bring, like, he is the chosen one. He's been prophesized.
Well, I mean, anybody could beat Voldemort. I mean, Harry doesn't have any special talent to achieve that. I mean,
I disagree.
Yeah.
He
split his soul a bunch of times to have a bunch of Horcruxes, but that doesn't mean you have to be a special person to destroy them or kill him.
Voldemort gave Harry the power to defeat him.
Yes, that's what I understood.
But without intention.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay,
He just about killed Draco a couple seconds ago. Draco?
Draco.
All right.
Latin for
Not
Draco,
Chocula.
I think.
I am. I don't want to run out of time, so let's go to the caves while we're.
Let's go to the caves.
Hooray.
Oh yeah, this is in the book where Voldemort would take the children to torture them.
Yes,
that's
Oh
right.
my god.
It's that cave, yeah.
There's a
The very
magic
same.
centipede. Kind of like the human centipede, but magic.
And
Oh man! The scene that's coming up here is really hard to watch. Not for bad reasons, for very good reasons. It's bad because of how well acted it is and how tense it is and how what a gut punch it is.
I feel like there's also an underlying analogy to age-related dementia that kind of breaks my heart.
What?
Your tea is here.
Yay!
Mr. T?
tea time.
Pity the
No,
fool.
dinner. Alex, dinner.
That was my my dinner is here. Dad just got back from the takeaway.
Lovely.
Ooh, lovely.
That's good.
What are you having?
Right, sausage chips, mushy peas, and gravy.
Wonderful.
Egg and spam.
You got to go then, and then come back. Go get it while it's hot, and then come back.
I gotta go. I'll be back as quick.
Say hi to your mother
back
for
as quick as
me.
I can. Okay.
It sounds so innocent when you say
Yeah.
it. Tiger.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going for another 30 minutes.
You can make it back.
I might not make it back in time, but I'll try to if I can. But I have to go. So I'll see you later.
Possibly 40 minutes, but yeah, I can extend it a bit. But
Enjoy, Dalek.
All right.
Yeah, enjoy
Eugene-
your dinner while it's good.
Yes. Eugene Bird says, please take Scotty with you. He looks much too happy over there.
I am.
Yes,
But that's been the treasure of these movies. Like I realized today I was watching the 6th in the series and I was like, and I'm still into it. I'm
Never
still
thought you'd
digging
get
it.
here. Did you?
Well, that's why I didn't like. There were two things that kept me away: a flat tire and the rest of the movie. And once I got the flat tire, had to fix that, and then I had to watch the rest of the movie. But yeah, I'm still digging on Harry
You
Potter.
fix your own flats?
Yeah,
another
I
flat
gave that
tire
up years ago.
I know. That's
AAA.
what happens when you get cut rate secondhand tires.
Ah, that's bad. That's hard.
In that case,
It's
you might
fine. I
as well
had a
just
spare.
replace them all. Anyway,
It's a long story. We can talk about it next week on our new podcast, Changing Tires with Scott.
No, we can talk. Let's talk about it tomorrow. We got a shore leave tomorrow.
Oh, that's great. Is that tomorrow night?
There's a final special feature here. Yeah, that's tomorrow night. That's shore leave tomorrow night.
Keith E has to leave.
Bye,
Keith.
Keith E. I'm so sorry. I have to.
Bye,
I have to
Keith.
step away from the chat for a little bit to make sure I get through the movie.
Take good care, Keith.
Yeah. Don't go changing.
Yeah, take care, Keithy. Thank you so much for keeping on top of that, Scotty. And right now in the slides, we are in the caves, and there's some special features that show up concerning how they did the design of the caves and how they decided how they should look. And they decided they wanted a crystal cave in the inside, and so they went to a quartz crystal cave in Switzerland. So they did a lot of site research. They went to a salt crystal cave in Germany, and that is what inspired their set as they're building it here.
I always thought it looked like, or not always, because I've seen this today. So as recently as today, I looked at it and I thought it looked like Krypton.
Oh. And then someone remembered the cliffs of Moher in the west of Ireland off County Clare, and that inspired the outside of the caves. And then the salt crystal interior, and somehow it all fit together. It looks good. There's a lot of CGI to make it it look bigger than the set actually is. Which they
Sure.
decided needed to be 2,000 feet long.
It does look massive when Dumbledore shoots that light up, arcing over the cave. It's just beautiful.
Yes.
And totally creepy.
Well, and this, as you mentioned, with the scale, seeing the distant light and then seeing Harry and Dumbledore on the shore closest to the foreground, I was like, damn, that is big. And I didn't understand what was going on with the boat. It's very convenient, but whatever. It's magic.
Voldemort put it there. He hid it. He hid the boat, so most people won't know how to summon the boat. You have to be a very powerful wizard or very clever wizard to figure out how. And Albus is. And so that's the explanation for that. And he's also got to drink. You also have to drink this potion that weakens you and also takes away your mental faculties to a degree that it seems like it'd be pretty impossible to keep at it if you were by yourself going insane. But Dumbledore has Harry to help him keep drinking.
Well, and I think that's what Dalek was referring to, is that this is a very difficult thing to watch, is that even with all of the lamentations and the warnings, it's like, no matter what happens, if I gotta die, you gotta let me. It doesn't matter how much I beg or plead. And watching, and I think it's unfortunate, but I think that's part of the reason why Michael Gambon really did sell Dumbledore for me, is that he is being tortured in front of me and Harry is forced to torture him as part of retrieving what we believe is the Horcrux. And it's just so it's heart-wrenching.
Oh. Yeah, and where did you find out what he was thinking about during that?
Oh yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, does that come up? If it doesn't come up, I'll tell you next week.
Okay,
and you can pretty much bet that the person that does this is pretty effectively going to be poisoned. If Dumbledore was dying before because of the curse from getting the first Horcrux that he found and destroyed, this would definitely have finished him off. That he's able to stand and have a last stand, and defend Harry from the Inferi in this situation just goes to show to his power as a wizard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the books he says it wasn't a health drink.
Well, and also, like, once you see Dumbledore brought down to his weakest, I think that it's really great to see him do something so just phenomenally powerful to be able to save Harry. Like, once he's brought down and then he rises, and again, like, dude's got a pet
because
phoenix.
he's not only physically debilitated by this poisonous drink, but he's also mentally debilitated, and that's the part that really breaks my heart. I do feel like there's an analogy here to age-related dementia, where somebody barely knows you, somebody is begging you, somebody is weeping. People who don't commonly do that are sort of defenestrated. They're taken down. They're not quite. They're not what they were. They're not themselves. It's so sad.
There's the word of the day: defenestrated.
Thank you.
I knew we were gonna do one.
Greek letter says they're wizards. They can walk on water like that Jesus dude, or is it Jesus? They don't need a boat. You know what? One of the things that I think about when it comes to these things, it's like, why don't you just carry your broom with you everywhere? Just like a scabbard on the back of your, like, you wear it like a quiver. Like, I thought that was something, but also throwing barriers in the way of your protagonists makes for good drama.
Well, this whole cave is enchanted and cursed. It's hard to know what would and wouldn't work in this situation. I mean, clearly you cannot touch the water because it's full of zombies who are activated when you touch the water, which is pretty brilliant to begin with.
Yes, that was
really
rad.
Horrible way.
Yes. Flippy Every Day has spoilers for the end of the movie. Snape kills Dumbledore.
Oh, hello, Flippy. Oh, Flippy every day. Yeah, and that was the big spoiler that everybody who
Flippy.
bought the book, the spoiler got leaked before the books came out, and it was just
Really?
a famous. Didn't it?
I
Am I
don't
wrong?
remember.
Not that I recall.
I think
Okay.
you might be right about that. I can't. I didn't hear it, but I might have heard something about that afterwards.
Let me see.
And then
Hold on.
And then Greek letter says, wizardry skills give powers some people find unnatural. Damn, wrong movie again. Thank you so much, Greek letter.
Yeah. Okay, so it says right here.
I mean, Greek letters is actually named Larry, isn't he?
Yeah, but I like nicknames.
It was leaked a few days before the book came out.
Interesting.
Let me see. Is this? And 2007, as the release of the 7th Harry Potter book approached, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the spoilers returned. Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's no.
That's
not
a different one.
not 7 part 1. Greek letters says, Larry, eh? Not even close. Your identity is safe with us, Lawrence. No, I know it's not real.
I want to get the facts
Tony
on
knows.
this.
I think Tony knows. Tony knows Greek letters name.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Legate Legonius or something like that.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it wasn't before the book release. Maybe it was after it released and everybody was being dicks and just putting the spoiler all over the internet. That might be what it was. I want to make sure I'm being factual about this.
More likely.
Yeah, that's okay.
But that's, that's the warm hug that I'm getting from this series of movies is that I don't know. And so even if you do spoil it, I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying having these things revealed to me. It is magical. It is actually magical.
Okay. Definitely. And to your point about the dementia, he was basically lost in the past when he was being tortured by that potion.
Oh, Greek letters. We just watched a movie over on the Phantasmagorium last night about a guy named Larry. He was bitten by a werewolf.
Oh, gads, I just looked up his name. It's pretty grim.
Oh, what is it? What is the translation, or are we not allowed to speak of it aloud?
The translation. I mean, Elelare Larum.
Okay.
Larlum. Golden Laurel.
We don't see much of the battle. We just mostly see Draco. We get the Death Eaters heading to the tower,
and then Marla.
And we get
there was a proper battle in the book.
There was
between
was cut.
Yeah, which is just to make space for burning the burrow. Please, terrible choice.
Yeah,
but
I dropped the burning of the burrow for the battle any day.
Oh, but I think that as a like fan of the movies, I guess I could call myself at least a moderate fan of the movies, is that when Snape shows up, I was like, here's the cavalry, where Snape is finally going to be not the asshole that everybody thinks he is. And then when he shows up and he does what he does, and I was like, holy crap, the emotional weight of that decision and action, even how brief it is, was more shocking than any sort of over-the-top purple space beam giant special effects magic fight. Like that interaction between Snape and Dumbledore, I felt more impact than 30 minutes of the cities crumbling and planets exploding. Like it felt like a betrayal to me. And again, I was not the biggest fan of Michael Gambon stepping into this role. I love Michael Gambon, but I didn't like him in this role. And then when I see what happens, I was like, oh crap. Like there were 2 times that I sort of welled up. Are you playing the video game now?
Oh,
Anyway.
this is these are special features about the Emperor that are playing while you talk about the scene that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But I do appreciate that. Yes, they did include the confrontation of Snape and Dumbledore and Draco. So they didn't cut everything out, and what they did
Well, and not
include
only
was
that,
good.
the zombies are really rad, although my brain did click into a little bit of like, what are all these golems doing here to bring us
I
back
felt
to
like
Lord
that
of the
too.
Rings?
But that is perfect. That is great that you thought that, because Gollum is kind of a sympathetic character, and that's what they were trying to do with these creatures is make them seem like emaciated human beings, just like really shrunken and
Well,
because they're victims
aren't in Fury animated dead bodies? Aren't they essentially zombies?
they're essentially zombies, but they're victims of Voldemort.
Yeah.
So
but it's not like they're a different kind of a creature. They are an enchanted dead body.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't
Cursed
really
to wander
looked
the
into it.
depths.
What you're saying doesn't contradict anything I've said, so you're right. I think you're right.
Contradictions are why I'm here.
Yeah.
But I am vaguely surprised that they wanted to make them sympathetic. I certainly
me too.
don't feel. I do not feel sympathy for them.
Well, but they died because Voldemort killed them. So, but their actions,
they're victims. They're
yeah.
literally victims. But they're.
I didn't get it either. I'm just saying what the director says.
Well, and that was something in terms of the special effects when Harry does get pulled under the water. One of the zombies sort of holds on to Harry, and I never got I was like, these are weird zombies. They're not actively attempting to kill him. They are almost like they're physically attempting to be rescued by Harry, but their actions are causing Harry to sort of
become one of them.
Peril. Well, yeah, like the one that actually hugs him, like, and it's not like I'm pulling you down to murder you. It's like a please save me kind of thing. And I thought that was I don't know, in terms of the drama of the situation.
I missed a couple of my favorite lines. I'm going to back it up a little.
Please.
Just to, because I made notes. I really loved that Francis the Fish story in Hagrid's Hut about Harry's mother, about Lily. That was
a great addition.
Beautifully acted and beautifully done. And yeah, it wasn't in the original, but it was so beautiful, and it really set the scene for Harry being able to get, the professor to really open up. It's
kind of magic I believe Lily would be capable of.
Yes. And then another one of my favorite lines in the film is where Dumbledore says to Harry, "You need a shave, my friend," because he also mentions briefly, seeing them all grow up, and it's just. But I love that, the thought that somebody who was just a little boy just 4 years ago now needs a shave. That was good. And then I have to say, when they entered the cave, Dumbledore cuts the palm of his hand, and that is done so often as a device in films. And I just want to say, if you have to cut something for blood, do not cut the palm of your hand. You really need the palm of your hand. There's a myelin sheath under there. I've known people who've cut the palm of their hand badly. It does not go back together as easily as it comes apart. So when people do that on films, it drives me crazy. However, at this point, Dumbledore wasn't going to last much longer, and I think he was aware of that, so it wouldn't have mattered to him so much, and I'm being much too logical about this. But I have to say it. Okay, I'm done.
But that's good advice for anybody. Do not if a magical door needs you to sacrifice blood, don't cut the palm of your.
Or if you're going to become someone's blood brother, or for whatever device in any film where they cut the palm of their hand all the time, every time. Yes, don't do that. You really need that.
Well, thank you for that.
I can't help myself.
And so, okay. Dumbledore doesn't believe that Draco's gonna kill him.
Oh, I also find this kind of really touching when he sends Harry. He's about to send Harry off to get Snape, and he doesn't. He's still really not there. He can barely walk. He's extremely weak. I think he realizes, how this is all playing out, even in the moment. Somehow Dumbledore knows. And he doesn't say, go get, well, in the book, he actually says once, go get Professor Snape. But then he says, Severus, I need Severus. And I mean, how many times has he ever said Snape's first name to anyone else?
Yeah.
He's not a first name kind of guy. So it really gets me.
The only thing I wish they would have kept in was that Harry wouldn't just hang out and watch all this happen. He'd probably intervene. And what
Dumbledore made him promise. He made him give him his word.
But I like in the books that he doesn't get the choice to like he gets paralyzed. Dumbledore paralyzes him before Snape shows up. And so, because I don't think Harry would have listened.
No, he wouldn't have.
Because he really, really hates Draco at this point for what he's about to do here. But and then when Draco doesn't do it, I think some of the hate that Harry had for Draco goes away. He still didn't like him, but there's something there. Now he feels a bit of pity for him.
Oh, Dumbledore and Draco?
Draco and Harry is what I was talking about.
Oh.
But Dumbledore says please, and Snape calls the killing curse Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, he didn't really do very much help thing there.
Well, that was all he had to do to complete Draco's mission.
He also had
to that's my point, that Snape didn't really do anything to help.
Because of the unbreakable vow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I something about the execution of the scene, I just felt absolutely nothing. It felt very stale to me for some reason compared to the book.
Well, yeah, the book definitely is a little stronger.
Oh, a lot stronger. Yeah, here it just, I don't know, it just felt empty.
Mm. Well, because we don't have a whole lot of the extra scenes, the extra characters. We just have Bellatrix breaking a few plates. But this does happen. What's scarier in the book about this scene is that Fang is still in the hut when they set this on fire.
Yeah.
And so I was worried about him for a while until they put out the fire. And Hagrid's supposed to be here too. And fending off Death Eaters. And Snape keeps blocking Harry's curses, including his own curse. And that's where he reveals he's the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, this also felt like a little add-on too. I mean, I know it's kind of what happens in the book, but I don't know, for some reason it just felt kind of meaningless here. Oh yeah.
Well, it was meaningless because what was so powerful about it in the book is that Hagrid is here.
Right.
When Harry sees Hagrid's hut on fire, he just saw Dumbledore die, and he says what runs through his mind is not Hagrid too.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's why this whole finale just felt very. Even the confrontation in the tower felt a bit rushed, and it was kind of.
It kind of was, yeah.
Yeah, just like they spent too much time on all the lovey-dovey crap, and then they're just rushing the ending. Not to mention, you don't get the funeral either.
Right, you don't get the funeral. You just get this.
Book. Yeah.
It is because everybody shows up.
Yeah, everybody.
It's,
You really feel it in the movie. It's like they're just in a hurry to, get. It's like they're in like they had a limit. It's like, oh, we figure the movie's going to be too long at this point. Let's get this wrapped up.
yeah, you just get this isn't a bad scene. I like it, but yeah, the funeral was a lot more meaningful. And Ginny comforts Harry, which does happen. And they go to Dumbledore's office. I do like there's some good emotional beats though, all throughout at the end here. And is Scotty here? Because
No, or
No?
at least I don't think he is. He's been muted for a while.
Oh, that's disappointing. Because this I wanted to read this line of the book for him because it's a Hufflepuff related thing.
There's the wand.
But oh yeah, the Elder Wand. But we'll get to that in the next movie. But this is first.
Continue.
This is for Scotty and Dalek 451. I think one of the best lines at the end of this book is from Professor Sprout, head of Hufflepuff House. Because in the book, this is the part of the book where McGonagall is considering closing school because of what just happened, the battle and Snape killing Dumbledore. And Professor Sprout says, "I am sure Dumbledore would have wanted the school to remain open," said Professor Sprout. "I feel that if a single pupil wants to come, then the school ought to remain open for that pupil."
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty powerful support of the kids who still call Hogwarts their home and not ignoring them for the scope of all of the terrible things that are happening.
Well, it's also Dumbledore's mantra is that help will always be found at Hogwarts for those who ask for it.
And that's oh yeah, Harry says that too. Yeah, when he talks to Scrimgeour at the end, he says, "Dumbledore will only be gone from the school when none here are loyal to him," said Harry, smiling in spite of himself. And Scrimgeour says, "My dear boy, even Dumbledore can't return from..." "I'm not saying he can. You wouldn't understand. But I've got nothing to tell you," because Scrimgeour's trying to figure out what's happened and what Harry was doing with Dumbledore in the cave or wherever they went. He doesn't know where they went or what they did. And Dumbledore told him, "Don't tell anybody."
Yeah.
Except for Ron and Hermione. And so not only does he not tell Scrimgeour, he also doesn't tell McGonagall.
Yeah.
It's treason then. Oh, wait,
Oh,
no.
no.
Wrong movie.
Did you hear the quote from Sprout?
No.
She said, if just one student wants to come, then the school ought to remain open for just that one student, because they were considering closing the school in the book. And so it's just a good line from the head of Hufflepuff House.
Oh, I missed a Hufflepuff quote. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It was for you too.
So who's going to be headmaster now?
Well, headmistress, McGonagall's always been deputy headmistress, so she is.
So Kamala. No, I joke. I kid. I'm sure that's too much.
That is too much because that's not right.
No.
McGonagall's way smarter and cooler.
Yeah, totes.
And of course, they're talking about the locket. The locket, of course, isn't actually a Horcrux. It's just it's a plant. RAB replaced the Horcrux with a fake and stole the real one in hopes of stopping Voldemort. And we'll find out more about RAB in the next movie.
But they did give you a clue at the beginning
They
of this
did.
film.
They did
A
give you a
strong
clue. They did. They talked all about it. So
Bumbledore?
So they're gonna they're talking about finding all the Horcruxes, and and of course that they're gonna stay together as friends. And Harry, you can't do this alone. And that's the movie. So we got through the movie.
Yeah, and Hermione says, but sometimes you can be very thick, which is kind of satisfying to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And Ron just sitting there.
Oh yeah, and there's Ron.
He gets up
Ron.
at some point, but I think Ron's sort of overwhelmed.
They forgot to give Ron some lines.
It's like, oh yeah, then there's Ron. He's still in the movie.
Yeah, but Ron's kind of like the Chewbacca of this. He's there. He's loyal. We had the test of friendship in a couple movies ago.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you guys for going on this journey with me, and I hope we can find all the Horcruxes together next Friday. Well,
Are you,
I guess not
you're
all of
wrapping
them.
it up as soon as possible? Is that what's important? Do I have a moment or two to burble?
Oh, you have a moment or two to burble. Actually, there's something you need to burble about that I forgot all about. You
That's
had
all right.
something important to say about
It's not that
Snape.
important. It's,
And no, yes, it is. I want to hear it. And
well,
Fox is leaving forever. Bye, Fox.
Who's leaving forever? Oh,
Fox.
Fox. Yeah, that was just
the Phoenix.
Oh, heartbreaking. That was really wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
Wrenching.
Yeah, because
To
that's
hear the Phoenixes
that's
cry.
Dumbledore's pet.
Yes.
And as soon as I saw that shot of our, what did you call it? Tiger Stripes? The Golden Trio?
The Golden Trio.
Yes, the Golden Trio. Yeah.
And they're standing there and they're looking over the lake from the astronomy tower. And we're watching the Phoenix sort of soar into the distance. And then it goes to it fades to black to credits. And I was just like, na 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 na. I was just like, yeah, no, this is totally the end of Empire Strikes Back. It was so good.
Well, I'm glad you
Okay,
enjoyed it.
growl away.
I just want the resounding silence to speak for itself.
I thought Dalek had something to say. He was growling. And I
Oh
wanted
no,
to
I feel exactly as Dalek does. So I am going to burble a bit.
I'm a bit ticked off with you, Scotty.
Again?
For what?
How dare you say what you said about McGonagall?
What did I say about McGonagall? I don't think I was disrespectful.
Oh, the politics.
Oh, that. No, that was just an offhanded comment. You're allowed to be upset with me for that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was rude. I shouldn't have brought it up.
We shouldn't ever bring politics into this because...
Agreed.
Thank you. Don't do it again.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So once upon a time when it was just me and Jill in this live stream.
Yes, please do it.
Yes. I went down the rabbit hole and I found an interview made with Alan Rickman about the time this film came out. Or maybe it was anyway, that was my search. And he said the common belief is that he knew everything about Snape going into the film. And he said no, that he called, he said he would take the role, but first I have to speak to the author. And he and Joe Rowling were on the phone. And he said that she said, well, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll meet. But I can't talk right now. I'm with my sister, which was pretty hilarious, meaning that, she held these details about the story so close that she wouldn't even speak about them in front of her own sister, which is pretty hilarious. And he said she gave him one detail about the character, but not any more than that, just one. And the interviewer at that point said, well, can you tell us what it is? He says, no, because I promised her that I wouldn't, and I'm not going to break that promise, which I thought was really lovely. He also said that he was very involved in Snape's costume design he wanted it tight and a lot of buttons because he really loved the idea of Snape just sort of having every day to button one button after the other. And then he kind of did the movement, and it was very Snape-like, down the center of his chest, which was pretty hilarious. And then he also said that he wanted the sleeve finished mid-hand, not at the wrist, because it just says something. And then he also wanted buttons up the sleeve. So he really wanted Snape to literally be buttoned up, which is, I think, kind of beautiful.
Well, and I do appreciate that Alan Rickman took that insight into Snape's character to his rest.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And it was all in his own voice, listening to him talk about it with that beautiful velvety voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also wrote down some things that Emma Thompson said at a memorial for him, but maybe I should save those for another day.
Oh, for the last one.
Or maybe the next to the last one. I don't want to end on that sad note.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it on the next one then.
Oh, Toodleskay says, hard to believe watching her that Maggie Smith was going through chemo during the filming of this movie. I will have to say, Toodleskay, knowing what I know about such things, no, I would not have a hard time. I was kind of watching her while I watched the movie again last night, and I feel like you can see it. I feel like, because it has such an impact on the body, such a hard physical impact. And I think she was still very upright, she was still very well spoken, but just in terms of her physicality, I feel like I could tell. But I didn't know at the time, and I wouldn't have given it any credence other than aging. But those kind of treatments, particularly radiation and chemo, can be very aging to a person, like overnight practically. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't.
But that's
a
really good observation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toodleskay. Toodleskay also said way earlier in the chat. I'm going back to the chat to see what we're gonna share here before we go. One non-book line I love. So when Lavender Brown says, "Don't make me laugh. You haven't spoken in weeks," and this part actually is in the book. I suppose you want to make up with him now that he's suddenly all interesting. And so the non-book line that Toodleskay says is, "He's been poisoned, you daft bimbo."
I don't want to be contradictory. It is a great line, and it comes at the perfect moment. I think she says daft dimbo with a D.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Which isn't quite.
You're right. It's not bimbo.
Which isn't quite as mean as bimbo, which has a different connotation, but it's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh no, you're not being contradictory. You're correcting, and that was a good correction.
And not only that, but like Lavender is. This is the reason she's not concerned about him sort of regaining consciousness or getting better. She just wants him again as a prize. Like she doesn't. I don't think that there's a true affection there. I think it's more of a possession.
Yeah, well, from what I saw, yeah, that makes sense to me. I can't argue against that. And Canadian Spider-Man says, "Hey chat, please hit the like button to help grow this channel. Just a reminder in case you forgot. Those watching in the future, that includes y'all as well. Shout out to Texas." Wink, wink. So thank you so much, Canadian Spider-Man, for being here. Kids are assholes enough at that age, Scotty, without the drink. And Franco says, "Hello, everyone. I'm just popping in to say I'm not here. I've had company. I'll watch this tomorrow. Have a good stream." Hey. Oh, that's great. You've got some company. I hope you're having a good time. And it's good. It's a happy company. Greek Letter says, "How can you spoil a 2-decade-old movie?" Well, I'm not. I'm
Good
not saying
point.
that we're worried. We're not worried about spoiling for anybody listening because
How? Yes.
obviously,
Yes, it's
well,
because Scotty's the last man
it's
on the planet who doesn't know anything
yes,
about Harry Potter.
that's exactly
how.
right. It's because
I am
Scotty
the
are
last
27.
man.
True.
That's fine.
True.
You know what? And the thing what I say about anybody who hasn't seen some of my favorite movies is like, I am envious that you get to watch it for the first time. And so while I understand that I am in the dark when it comes to these stories, I'm really having a good time watching them for the first time. And I think that if you had a spell where you could go back and watch these and sort of fall in love all over again for the first time, you would have a ball. And I am, like right now. So.
If I could do, I'm not sure about the films, but if I could do that with the books, sure, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, same deal. Same deal.
Okay, so I know Dalek is here, but he also says in the chat, I think the drink is both the physical and mental torture. It's making Dumbledore relive the worst moments of his life, the things he regrets more than anything. That's exactly right. And we'll
Yeah.
find out what those are next time.
Probably the Fantastic Beasts movies.
You're closer than you might suspect.
You're pretty close with that, Scotty. Yeah.
That's funny that you get things right
apt.
without meaning to.
Pretty apt, Scotty. We're all impressed by your connecting the dots.
I'm not trying to win. I'm enjoying the sharing.
You know, that's what's exciting about it is that you're
Why
not
are you
trying.
arguing with me?
Why do we have to agree so fervently?
Every time I say I'm impressed with you, you argue.
Because I hate myself and I don't like it when other
There's
people like me.
something there. Dear me, don't do that. Nobody should hate themselves. Don't do drugs, kids.
Okay, there it is. There's
drugs.
the actual. That's the actual story. I was mixed up. It wasn't before. They didn't leak the thing before the book. They leaked it after the book came out. People were shouting it at people in the line to buy the book. That was a jerk move.
Oh, that's a dick move.
Goodness, no one at Walmart
Yeah, that
blabbed.
sucks.
When my mom bought me my book, it says Toodleski. And there's a Deadpool comic where that's highlighted, where he's in Hufflepuff robes and everything to get his book, and somebody yells, Snape kills Dumbledore as a drive-by, and then Deadpool says, no.
I can't believe Deadpool is a Hufflepuff. That's great.
Yeah, he is canonical in the comic books.
Really? That's great.
Oh, Gorilla has to go.
Gorilla? I didn't know Gorilla was here. I would have said hello
Gorilla's been
a long
yelling
time
at us
ago.
the entire
Gorilla.
time to keep it down.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he was yelling about Veritaserum earlier too. That Slughorn always carried the antidote. They should have included. I agree with this. This is something I said. Toodleski, they should have included Harry being petrified by Dumbledore. No way Harry would have stayed still for that, no matter what he promised Dumbledore. Absolutely agreed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Well,
that whole scene was just terribly executed. It's just.
But again, like I feel like this
But
movie.
but when I read the book, I cry like about 3 or 4 times about Dumbledore
Yeah.
because of the book, and
Yeah,
so
the book does it so much better, and you feel it, like really feel it, especially that they go in like what 50, 60 pages afterwards of the funeral and everything. It's like, oh man, they really drive. And like you said, when they thought in the book that Hagrid's in the hut, and that's why that revelation when Snape says, I'm the Half-Blood Prince means so much more when you're reading it, because it's like you think Hagrid's burning to death inside the hut. And Fang is inside the hut too.
Yeah, Fang is in the hut, and not only that, it means a whole lot more, because here's one thing, Scotty, you don't know why Snape calls himself the Half-Blood Prince is because his dad is a Mongol, and his mom was her maiden name was Prince.
Ah, I didn't know that about his mother's maiden name.
Yeah, Eileen Prince. Yeah,
that's great.
I did. That was the only mystery that I really, really wanted resolved. And I was like, so who's the Half-Blood Prince? And for a little while, I thought it was like Harry from the future had sent something to the past or something like that. Because I'm a sci-fi guy and not a magic guy.
Supposed to be in the that you're led down that path, I think, by the book as well.
And so when it did show up, and like again, I still have hope for Severus. Who knows if I'm right or wrong? You guys do. But it was when he's like, I am the Half-Blood Prince. I was like, oh my God, this is Snape the movie. I like it.
Yeah, it basically is. But unfortunately, I'd love to stay and mingle a little longer, but I've got real life stuff I got to do. Unfortunately, I've got to go back into the Muggle world.
I'm happy we wrapped it up faster this time.
Me too.
Frankly.
Me too.
I like. Yes.
Me too. And it's a lot more succinct live stream, which is great for people listening on the replay who don't have to worry about 6 hours, just 3. Not too bad. So, and of course, next Friday we'll come back and look for some Horcruxes. But until then, I have an open topic stream tomorrow night, Saturday night, for all my subscribers who normally can't make it to my daytime live streams, and those who can too. Everybody, of course, is welcome. It's a great opportunity to join me when I'm not normally available, basically. Then on Tuesday, I'll wrap up season 3 of For All Mankind, and then on to season 4, which I am scheduled to finish by December 3rd. And so that means I'll be able to start Twilight Zone sometime in December. And so that's going to be quite a long journey in and of itself. And another thing I don't know when I'm going to play Fallout again, but I'm definitely thinking about it. And so I'd like to ask you guys anything you'd like to plug or talk about. If you got a channel or something you just want to promote.
I'll go first because I want to get out of here.
Okay. I'm trying to find the thing. Here it is.
I am Scotty R37. If you want to go over to my X account, the first thing with a bullet is Buy Me a She-Hulk. Hot Toys has a 7-inch She-Hulk toy, and I want one. I don't care who gets it for me, but I want one. So buy that for me. Also, I'm on a fantastic channel called The Phantasmagorium with my absolutely brilliant co-host, Sly Snide, Kat, who is here on the panel today. We are going through the Universal Pictures monster movies. We've done Dracul. We've done The Invisible Man. We did The Wolfman. We did The Phantoms of the Opera, 2 of them. And we're going to be doing The Creature of the Black Lagoon, and we're going to have a big old party on Halloween for the Frankensteins, not just the monster, but his bride, apparently. And so that's fun. And then also Cinema Gulp. I get to hang out with Cinema Gulp, and we talk about all the things that are pop culture and film related. And it's a good time. It's a good time. So that's pretty much what I do. Is that it? And I'm here. I bother you.
That's it. But I'm gonna close out the stream with the quote from the book. But you're free to go if you don't want to hear that. But it's
is it going to be a Hufflepuff quote?
It's the last paragraph of the book, but it's up to you if you. I did share the Hufflepuff.
I will.
Okay.
I'll stay.
And that's me. Thank you. And it won't be too long. We're just, oh my goodness, why is everything hard? I can't drag and drop today. Okay, there you are.
It's because you're using a Commodore 64.
Well, okay, I figured it out. Okay, so thank you so much, Kat, for being here. I'm glad you're here too. You made some really good points.
So Scotty and I are still doing our Halloween series. We'll do Creature of the Black Lagoon next Thursday, and then finish up with Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein the week after that. You can see me on Unifying Force on Virtual Cantina Network every second and fourth Sunday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific. And it's about all that's going on right now. Thanks.
Very good. Right, okay, so then I had to move this over here. Tiger Stripes, is there anything you want to share before we go?
No, thank you so much for having me. It's the best to be able to talk about Harry Potter with friends.
Yay.
Yeah, it's like having friends.
It is like having friends.
I'm kidding. You are my friends. Oh yeah, that was Harry Potter's
really?
response, Luna. I am your friend, and Luna says that's nice.
That is nice.
Oh. And then Dalek 451, thank you so much for sharing your insight and your passion for Harry Potter. Is there anything you want to share before we go? Plug or whatever you like.
I wish I had something, but apart from just saying, go subscribe to my main channel and also go subscribe to my gaming channel if you're interested in that. But I can't really think of anything else to say because oh man, stuff to do with my channel has just ground to a halt lately. I've either been busy. I've either just been lazing around or just been busy with other things. I've just had other things to do.
Well, that's fair enough. I forgot about your new channel. Next time I'll get that other quote in there. I mean, the other link.
I need to actually put something up there.
Yeah, you need to go stream on it.
Because at the moment there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Fair enough. Or you could move. You can move your gaming streams that you have already over there.
I did think about that. Move the gaming stuff that's already on my main channel over there. As
just to get it started. I don't know.
As a bit of a start, yeah, maybe. And then I'll actually start doing some game streams over there. I mean, there is a game I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel a lot lately, and I could have. And I mean, there's a new event going on at the moment. I should have streamed that. I could have eaten.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you're playing a game, might as well stream it, right? But yeah. I'll let's hang out some other time. I had such a good time. Thank you for talking to me about Harry Potter. It's great. I can't believe it's taken me so many years to finally get around to it. And I'll leave you all with the last few lines of The Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling, which I think, despite the flaws in the film, David Yates at least gets the spirit of this right. Thank you for sticking with me, and I cannot wait to see you again. His hand closed automatically around the fake Horcrux. But in spite of everything, in spite of the dark and twisting path he saw stretching ahead for himself, in spite of the final meeting with Voldemort he knew must come, whether in a month, in a year, or in 10, he felt his heart lift at the thought that there was still one last golden day of peace left to enjoy with Ron and Hermione. Greek letters just reminded me of something. Dalek, you're still here. You're the only one who hasn't given us what your love potion would smell like.
Oh. Oh man. I don't have a clue. I have no idea.
Okay.
Hot tubs
He
and
need-
sunscreen. I do want to change mine a little bit.
See ya at
like what would it smell?
Promise.
Would it smell like ideally for me?
What smells like love, yo?
Okay, I just if you need to think about it, we'll get back to you next time.
I have no idea. I have no
we'll see you
idea.
next time. Anyway,
Just dropped that on me so suddenly.
Yeah, in the middle of the outro.
I did, but I asked you like hours ago. So anyway, I'll talk to
I
you
want
guys.
to, but I want to switch mine. I want to switch mine.
Oh, okay.
And also, Kat didn't give
Mine.
hers.
I did.
Bourbon.
Yes, she did.
You did? Okay, so bourbon. And I said vanilla, but there's already vanilla in bourbon, so I'm going to say bourbon, baby powder, and dandelions. I'm switching from vanilla to baby powder.
Maybe.
Okay. Well,
maybe I'll just say the first one that comes to my head. Chocolate.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one. That's part of mine. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you for being awesome.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
No matter where you go, there you are.
The eyes, I reckon, they unnerve some folk. Not to mention the pincers.